chest, and I say it again. We are the most propagandized country. Our country is so propagandized. We literally imprison 1/4 of the world's prison population, but we somehow convince people we are the land of the free. How the hell do they do that? You can be locked up for a plant. At least where I live. It's not legalized here. You can go to prison for a plant. But people are so propagandized, they think we are a free country. There are journalists that are being prosecuted for speaking out against the U.S. war machine, but we are so propagandized, we think we got freedom of speech. There have been lawmakers that effectively ban protesting, but people think we got the First Amendment rights. People think we got Fourth Amendment rights. People think we got a Second Amendment right. People think that. That's how propagandized we are. So the propaganda in America is so thick, we can't see past it. That's how strong it is. When I tell people that we're the most propagandized country, they can't even begin to wrap their mind behind it. Then I explain how in our country we have weapon defense contractors pay MSNBC. Then you have that same contractor pay politicians. Then politicians do pro-war shit, and then MSNBC prop up the politician who's doing pro-war shit. There is literally no difference between that and state media. There's no difference between state media and a channel who gives nothing but pro-war narratives when they get paid by weapon defense contractors. There's nothing more state TV when Wall Street pays off cable companies and then they justify corporate bailouts. How is that not worse than what other countries do?
Welcome to another episode of RBN Live Tuesdays. I'm one of your hosts. I'm CJ. What's up, Nick?
What's poppin'? My friends, my family. Welcome to RBN Live. Nick and CJ for now. JB maybe join us a little bit later. Welcome to the show. We had a great conversation on the post-duopoly show last night. We was hit with giant news that Dr. Cornel West was going to run, and it was extremely shocking. But over the last 24 hours, I got to sit back and I got to analyze everyone's reaction. And I had to say, 2024 is going to be hilarious. It's going to be a ball. So many people are going to expose themselves. So Dr. Cornel West is the perfect person. I never imagined that he was going to run third party, but he's the perfect person to run third party. I'm going to explain why I say that. Because there's so many Democrats that pretend that they love and respect him, and they probably do in a certain sense because they don't feel threatened by him in his politics. So they see Cornel West, they're like, oh, I got a lot of respect for Dr. Cornel West. A lot of respect. So now these people are tasked with this tricky job of smearing and discounting the candidacy of someone as inspirational as Dr. Cornel West, which led to many gems, and we're gonna cover that very soon. I call it duopoly leftists. We are post-duopoly leftists. Yeah. Duopoly leftists dismay over Dr. Cornel West because Marianne Williamson campaign, it was already dead on arrival, but for whatever life it had left, Dr. Cornel West drove a stake in it. There is no Marianne Williamson. That shit is dead. So now you have a lot of people who are trying to cope with this fact. We're going to get to those receipts very soon. We're also going to cover the New York Times being forced to admit that there's Nazis in Ukraine, but they're still doing it.
I love that. I love that story. There's
a lot to talk about today. Jamal Bowman, complete clown.
That's another one. I can't wait till we get to that one. That's a clown.
I can't wait to that one. That's going to be a fun one. I think the first one's going to be fun. Dr. Cornel West is going to be fun for me. But that one, you guys know Jamal Bowman is among my favorite fucking people to clown. One of the biggest, obvious sellouts. And he was quick to sell out. He sold out the second Obama endorsed that guy. He was like, all right, I'm off to the races. Good. We're going to get to him very soon.
Maybe that's the theme of today's, because we're talking about, shit lip sellouts, and we're talking about Jamal Bowman. It's kind of like a theme of today's show today.
Shit lip sellouts, being exposed. Marianne Williamson and RFK was exposed as the cowards they are because Dr. Cornel West plunged into third party. And who's been talked about most? You guys think Marianne Williamson's getting more headlines over Dr. Cornel West? This theory that you got run as a Democrat to get attention, completely blown the fuck out of the water. Nigga, there was ABC stories about Dr. Cornel West, Washington Post, all these media outlets that were covering Dr. Cornel West. The same media outlets ignoring RFK and Marianne. So
I was just gonna say.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I was gonna say. I was surprised, Nick, when I looked, because every morning I go and look and see what's top stories on a bunch of different sites. All of them were reporting on Cornel West, which didn't happen with RFK Jr. and Marianne Williamson. It just did not happen. Did they trend? Well, RFK probably trended. Marianne Williamson didn't trend when she launched her campaign.
I don't remember, but when you look at Dr. Cornel West, is without a doubt he got more press than Marianne Williamson did. RFK, I don't really remember. I know RFK was pretty big when he first announced. I'm not going to compare him and them, so I don't quite remember that one. But I can say 100% for a goddamn fact that Marianne Williamson did not drum the kind of support and attention that Dr. Cornel West has done. So we aired a lot of our criticism of his strategy of running in the People's Party, and I'm sure we're going to continue to talk on that. But as you probably can tell, CJ, I've been having a blast the last 24 hours.
I've been seeing it.
Because we can have our criticism while at the same time calling out the hypocrisy and the straight up bullshit that's coming from Democrats. So you guys heard from CJ we have substantive problems with how the People's Party is ran. But we also have problems with how the Democratic Party is ran. We also have problems with how the Republican Party is ran. So I want to see consistency. If you're not consistent, you are weaponizing your hypocrisy. Like, I'm going to show you guys a few examples of this. And weaponize hypocrisy, as I tell you guys all the time, is a form of corruption. It's a form of dishonesty. What's popping, JB? I watched quite a bit of your stream. What were you guys talking about before we get back to on topic?
So I was just talking about Dr. Cornel West running.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see your. I actually heard you talk about it a little bit already, but we're gonna go through a lot of funny stuff today. But go ahead.
Don't spoil it for us, JB. Don't tell us what happened in your show without spoiling your point of view, because I want to be brand new to it when we get to it. So I want to hear it for the first time.
Okay, I'm not gonna do that. But so yeah, I talked about him running independent and running third party, as well as my concerns with the People's Party, NPP. And I talked about how this could mean for the Black community. So that's going to be interesting. And then I also talked about Cop City in Atlanta. You guys are very, knowledgeable about these things, what's going on in Atlanta regarding Cop City. There were 15 hours of public comment done yesterday until 5 a.m. this morning. And so I explained what Cop City was, why does it matter, and why imperialism has come in our borders to the U.S. citizens. A lot of people will say that you would never use the U.S. military against the citizens, but they damn sure militarize the police, so they basically have a military against us. So that's one of the things that I talked about, and I'm not going to be on very long today because I am going on week 3 of my Marxism class.
Yeah, your Marx class. Yeah,
so I'll be
so dope.
I was the first one.
Oh man, I'm learning. I'm learning so much. And
I told you guys, even I can learn more about Marxism. Well, not even me. Of course I can. Marxism is so scientific. There's so much shit to read, so many dissenting opinions, and I'm sure you learned this as well. Like, I love that you're doing that, because we always can learn more. And liberalism in the West is an actual coordinated strategy that they admitted. I really wish I can quote this, but there was this op that was like, we actually know that China and Russia is more democratic than we say we are, but people misunderstand the Chinese system. They misunderstand other alternative systems, so it's easy just to call them authoritarian, right? So the point I'm making, I'll pass back to you, JB, is that the establishment weaponizes working class ignorance. Now, we shouldn't judge people who don't know information, do not have a lot of information, but we need to kill the era of anti-intellectualism that has grasped the American public. Anti-intellectualism directly leads to the ruling class taking advantage of us, manipulating us. That's why Black Panthers used to have monthly theory readings. And if you was a leader in the Black Panther, you was expected to lead some of these. Because the Black Panthers like, we're not going to have dumb motherfuckers in our movement. We can't do that. You're going to be a liability. Now, the DSA, Bernie Sanders left. The crystal ball left. We're going to get to that soon. Just dumb as shit. Openly dumb. Jamaal Bowman, openly dumb. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what Crimea is. You guys see how dumb shit is used to weaponize the attack level. Sorry, I went on a rant. Sorry, JB. Very
to your point, a lot of times we typically have the intellectual side and then the working class side separate, when in reality we need to combine them. because the thing is that they depend on you not knowing your shit in order for them to go underneath and then make it so that you don't have rights. Like, for instance, the whole thing about Cop City I was talking about on my show earlier today. My question was to the people who have the "Don't Tread on Me" flag, who talk about, especially people who were veterans, who said that they'll protect and defend the Constitution from enemies both foreign and domestic. I'm like, do you see the domestic enemy in front of your face? If you have militias out there and you consider yourself a libertarian or a conservative, and you're seeing Cop City being built, also taking away your land that you also hunt and fish in as well, and you're not going to defend them, then that means that you are complicit, or you're just standing by and you're not protecting and defending against enemies, foreign and domestic. So you're basically just all talk and nothing else. And so this is why people need to rise up about this. And combining with, Cornel West running, this is a means for us, people like us at RBN, to use this, even though we may not support him in his run, but to use the talking points in order to push people even further than he would. That's the point. And I think that's what's important about this entire conversation. I just wanted to bring that back to the original conversation you guys were having on before I came on.
Yeah, Dr. Cornel West is calling for dismantling NATO. That's fucking giant, guys. I don't know what to. That's giant. Now, I'm also going to share something else with you guys, because you guys know what I have not said. I have not said I support Dr. Cornel West. You guys want to know what I think is the dumbest strategy that workers do that I'm trying to end, which is commonplace. Now, I'm pretty sure that my opinion is the minority. But what I found commonplace, I learned it during 2020. I saw Bernie people doing this 2020. In June, 5 to 6 months before the election, you have people that say, yeah, I know I was a Bernie Sanders supporter, but I'm going to vote for Joe Biden. And I am asking this question, what does that serve us? How does that serve us for us to declare our support for a politician, even if we mostly support him? So rhetorically, I can back up what Dr. Cornel West is saying. I can use it to expose the two-party duopoly, capitalist ideology, and the people that Dr. Cornel West is fighting. But for my personal opinion, this is how I'm personally going to live my life from now on. I never declare my support for a politician anymore. Who I'm going to vote for is going to be a secret until literally like the day before. I'm not doing that endorsing shit. Organizations and institutions endorse for political reasons, right? Connections, social reasons. When you're a public figure, you endorse for a lot of celebrity and social reasons. As ordinary working class people, I'm asking you right now, for you, the accountant, you currently at work right now, you currently watching your kids right now, what is the functional purpose for us to come out and say we support a politician a year and a half before the election? Absolutely fucking none. Absolutely fucking none. We should hold our fucking tongue until the day of, and then you vote your conscience. That's my this is a newly developed opinion, maybe the last 2 years, because I saw so many progressives throw away their power. I am a Bernie supporter, I'm going to support Democrats. So Democrats like, we're about to shit to the fucking right. Now, I don't think Dr. Cornel West was doing it, but once again, I don't think that strategy serves us at all. Have Dr. Cornel West guessing. Have all these politicians guessing, because they're guessing to the day of the election, they're going to be great until the day of the election. They're not going to betray you. And they're also going to be worried about losing your support later because they know you're not a bandwagoner. Right? You guys have any thoughts on that? This is like something I've been thinking about a lot over the last year or two. Even with Cornel West, when I look at his foreign policy platform, when I read the Chris Hedges Substack, it was amazing. Like the rhetoric that he is saying and how much he improved on some of these topics. CJ, JB, you have any thoughts on that before I move on to my stories? Going once. I'll read this shout out to James. Thank you for $5 and the super sticker. So as I was explaining, I don't see any value in declaring that, I'm a Dr. Cornel West supporter. Guys, I'm done with that shit. I'm done with I was the Bernie supporter, I was the Obama. No more supporting politicians. We may, at the end of the day, you never know when it comes to it, but as it is, we don't declare shit. But with that said, I see a ton of rhetorical advantages and benefits to our movement that Dr. Cornel West is bringing. Number one, destroying the two-party duopoly, running outside the two-party duopoly, and showing duopoly lovers what happens when a big name runs third party. Because as we covered earlier before JB got here, Dr. Cornel West is getting more media coverage than at least Marianne Williamson did.
Well,
arguably RFK, but I won't say that for sure. But I just know that Dr. Cornel West was trending #1. I don't remember any of the candidates trending #1 other than DeSantis, right? And his party was trending alongside with them. They combined it at one point. Cornel West was like 2, People Party like #5, and then they eventually combined it into one stream. So what does that tell you? That tells you guys that RBN was right once again. Now, CJ had disagreement with strategy. People had disagreement with the strategy of People Party. But look at what happened. You had a big, undeniable name. Dr. Cornel West, undeniable. Everyone in politics knows who he is. Even ordinary, like, my mom knows who Dr. Cornel West is. She's famous. I tell you guys all the time how apolitical my mom is. I remember, you guys know how excited I was when Dr. Cornel West came on my show. I told my mom, like, man, we got Dr. Cornel West coming on. She's like, damn, that's crazy. So even my mom, apolitical as fuck. In the black community, most people know who the fuck Dr. Cornel West is, especially. Right? So all you need, and this has been our theory, correct me if I'm wrong, CJ, JB, I'm not trying to talk for you guys. Our theory has been, if you get someone with name recognition, someone with a powerful message, someone that even Democrats and ordinary Republicans can attack, if you get someone like that and have them spearhead a third-party movement, you can break through. That's exactly what this shows. So I am using these rhetorical advantages. I use these rhetorical happenings to our advantage. And I know, CJ, we talked before, this is what I've been tweeting about. And the people who know that this is a rhetorical advantage for third-party activists like us are freaking the fuck out. Democrats are in complete disarray. Progressives who pretend they are anti-establishment is in disarray. Because a lot of the progressives who pretend they leftier than now, they will say, oh yeah, I'm a leftist, I hate the Democrats, but what can we do? What can we do? We gotta run as Democrat. Or else, but now, Dr. Cornel West completely shattered this. So now you're seeing shit-lived, vote blue, no matter who reactions. And now one of the biggest cornball Uncle Tom Democrats that you will ever find out. And guys, I swear to God, I do not use that term. I do not use the term Uncle Tom lightly. Like, I rarely call people that term. But Ben Dixon, I seen a video of him unapologetically supporting arming Nazis in Ukraine. So even though I do not use the term Uncle Tom a lot, if you're a black dude and you support arming Nazis, I feel like that's fair game to call you Uncle Tom. My point is, that's a very tricky term. I don't like a lot of people using it. But if anyone ever qualify as an Uncle Tom, it's this motherfucker right here, Benjamin Dixon. You guys want to know how much an Uncle Tom Benjamin Dixon is? Benjamin Dixon unironically supported Elizabeth Warren over Bernie Sanders.
Wait, what?
Yes. Before, and he did a rebrand. I remember this because he used to follow me back in the day.
No way. He used to follow me back in the day too.
There was a lot of TYT people, all these social democrat moderate motherfuckers used to follow me while on the Bernie campaign. So I used to see him. I used to be upset, Ben. I'm like, why the fuck are you propping up Elizabeth Warren? A lot of Bernie people were like, why the fuck are you propping up Elizabeth Warren? So then Ben realized that was a wrong position. So he did the most obvious rebrand in the history of politics, where all of a sudden he's a Bernie supporter, never talk about Elizabeth Warren ever again. But I remember a lot of OGs like me.
I never knew that. I never knew that.
That's why I know you wouldn't know that. That's why I would let you guys know some background to this guy and why I call him Uncle Tom, because I literally do not use that term a lot. If there's anyone that this shit applies to, it's this motherfucker. I promise you. Go ahead, JB, if you want to chime in.
Nick, remember Bernie, bruh? Yo, I was even in on it. I even contributed to it because I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, Bernie, bro. Basically meaning that they were trying to make it so that, oh, yeah, black people are for Bernie too. And he made this video called Bernie, bro. And I'm like, yeah. Now that I look back, I'm like, why in the hell did I participate in that?
That was Ben who did that?
What was I thinking?
Did Ben do Bernie, bro?
I evolved. Don't cancel JB. I evolved.
Wait, I'm confused. So Ben Dixon did Bernie, bro?
Yeah. Oh my!
I didn't know that.
I had no idea.
I didn't participate in that.
Oh my god! You guys are gonna laugh.
Yeah, I don't even know what y'all talking about. I don't even know what y'all talking about.
Yeah, not important. Let's move on. Not too important. Yeah. But let's. So this is Ben Dixon's take, and this is
already
particularly hilarious because you see this needle that these moderate shit are going to walk, where they have to pretend They love Dr. Cornel West and all his policy positions.
Like
and
Crystal
they
Ball.
vibe. So people like Ben Dixon want us to believe that he vibes with Dr. Cornel West, even though Dr. Cornel West is calling for the dismantling of NATO. But Ben Dixon is a Negro who supports NATO. The biggest Uncle Tom you can possibly fucking find. So you think you vibing with Dr. Cornel West when you guys have very substantial differences on geopolitics? That's like whether NATO stays and where NATO goes is a giant disagreement. And these
that's like AOC and Bernie Sanders acting like they're down with Lula. It's the same thing.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. Go ahead, my bad.
CJ, perfect. Because I was literally just about to make the same comparison. With Bernie and AOC and all the support, like, yeah, we are Lula leftists. Meanwhile, Lula, like, nigga, we need to build with China. We need to reject aggression against Russia. Nigga, we need.
What are you laughing at, JB?
Support towards Israel. Like, you guys are nowhere near Lula. You guys are nowhere near Lula. And these motherfuckers pretending they Lula leftists. These motherfuckers pretending that they have.
And that's what Ben is doing right here. Oh, my beloved brother.
Yeah,
because they can't attack him in the same way that they would attack, a Marianne Williamson with fire. They gotta know, because if they attack him like sideways, they gonna catch the fire just off of the attack.
Imagine if they try to attack him the same way that they tried to attack RFK. Ben Dixon had me blocked. Someone shared me the screenshot because it was so fucking hilarious. But I can only imagine what Ben said about RFK. I've seen all the Marianne Williamson say, "Oh, he's an anti-vax crank. He's this, he's that." Super soft on Marianne.
If that is your critique, if your critique of RFK is not Israel, but your critique is anti-vax, you are unserious, and you're telling me you're a part of the managerial class. You are completely unserious. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So let me read. I actually haven't read the tweets. I know a lot of you guys probably read it already, but for people who don't watch it like I do a lot of times, when I heard about my beloved brother's campaign for president, you guys see how he's trying to tie himself to Cornel West? Like, you are nothing like Cornel West. Nothing like Cornel West. When I heard about my beloved brother's campaign for president, I immediately thought of President Ron DeSantis' first 100 days. So this is Ben Dixon doing the straight up vote blue no matter who shit lib logic here.
This is shucking and jiving. This is literal shucking and jiving for white supremacy right here.
Now you guys see why
you're trying to act like, him running. Like, think about what he's saying about democracy. We can't have too many candidates, because then we might actually have democracy here instead of trying to rig the system to get Joe Biden here. They are deathly afraid of Donald Trump. They know Donald Trump has the upper hand, and they are trying so hard to bring him down. This is showing that fear. This is like Trump derangement syndrome and a bunch of other shit all wrapped up into one. Go ahead, Nick.
Now you guys see why I call. Once again, I swear to God, how many times you guys see me use that term? It's very, 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 very rare. But this is Benjamin Dixon calling for less democracy. And I'm asking you guys this: what black agenda did you ask for, Ben, before doing this? Before saying that we should support Democrats, that we shouldn't support any third-party candidacy, what black agenda have you fought for? Because what have I said? One of the reasons why I'm pro-third party, because I believe that black people need to establish their own self-determination, have their own political shit. And if you want to join us, that's great, but we need to do our own shit, organize our community. We need to stop listening and following the directions of white America. And that just will be 100% clear. I know that upsets some people when I say that, but we need to stop following liberals. We need to stop following Republicans. We need to do our own fucking shit as black people. That is what literally every other ethnic group does. That's why many Asian communities doing well, because they keep to them fucking selves, they help each other out, and they have their own little fucking community. Black people just started integrating to white America, and they wanted white America to accept them. They did the kind of shit that Malcolm X used to preach about, that they censored, that they're not going to teach new generations because critical race theory. And MLK later admitted that Malcolm X theory was right. How are we going to beg the two parties? Can you please have a black agenda? That's what Ben Dixon want to do. I want a third party that prioritizes our agenda, black agendas, right?
Ben Dixon is trying.
He don't care about that. Go ahead, CJ.
Ben Dixon is trying to be Al Sharpton. He's like, I want to be that in 30 years. I want to be Al Sharpton. I want to have a show on the weekend, chilling on the morning Joe, and then pretending to my black community like I'm helping them, like I'm a civil rights leader, even though I'm going to call and Joe Biden is saying, shut the fuck up. I did enough for the black community and you just shut up. It's ridiculous, man.
I'm gonna continue to read it because I can rant on this motherfucker all day. Dr. Cornel West will inspire a wonderful campaign of hope, justice, and liberation. I'm just not gonna support that shit. I'm not about that shit. I'm about whatever the Democratic Party tells me to be about. That is the ideology of Ben Dixon. And this, I saw a lot of people call this out as well. And we'll get just enough support for DeSantis to win the White House. Now I'm asking you guys this question. Why do they use DeSantis? I have a theory. I want to. Why do you think they use DeSantis now instead of
culture
Trump?
war? Because Ben Dixon is 100% culture warrior. He's 100% culture warrior. So Ron DeSantis is right now probably the number one target because of Florida and the trend. All of the things that's happening from CRT to woke, attacking on wokeism. All of that stuff is the reason why he's in sort of the crosshairs of the shit liberty group that Ben Dixon belonged to.
So I respect consistency. Even when people say stuff I disagree with, if I see you consistent across the board, I will have a level of respect for that, right? Like CJ calls out any motherfucker who even thinks about running as a Democrat. Any motherfucker who even spelled DEM before they even finish that motherfucker.
Like what? What'd you say?
What? Nigga, what? DEMOC? No. Nigga, what?
No.
So that's why it makes sense for CJ to call out the ills of the People's Party because he's being consistent. Correct?
Right.
The biggest people that are being exposed for having zero integrity whatsoever, are these people that now pretending that they are leftists, even though we all know who you guys voted for, we all know who you guys support, but they keep saying this stuff as if they're being good faith. They call it concern trolling, what they are doing. What they are doing is, Dr. Cornel West, I love you, Dr. Cornel West, but I have concerns over the People's Party. Said the person who is a Democrat, who supports Democrats. You guys see what my hang up is?
So
DJ is consistent. But
let's go into this one point. So the critique of the People's Party, whether it's a valid critique or not, isn't the point. The point is, how is that critique come from people who are part of a group that's worse than the People's Party, which is the Democratic Party? That's the critique. The reason we can come in with the same exact critique that these shit libs are having, but ours land, is because we're not for either party. We're not for either one, or an organization that's doing the same things that the Democratic Party is doing. That's a better way of saying it. Go ahead.
Take the absolute worst sins of the People's Party, and it doesn't even compare to 2.3 million Iraqis displaced. Nigga, you guys are voting for the party responsible for the genocide and displacement of 100 million Middle Eastern people after the war in Iraq. How can you guys do that? I can't do that shit. That's why I voted for Joe Stein in 2016. Even before I was radical, even before I would consider myself radicalized. I wasn't a Marxist nigga. I was just an ordinary motherfucking guy. But I saw what the Iraq war. I was like, nah, nigga, I can't vote for that. Yeah. You guys think you have the moral high ground calling out the People's Party, but you guys are responsible for the party that's funding Palestinian genocide. Like, I said it a stream a few weeks ago, and I'm going to continue to say it. I don't understand your morals and your values. Your morals and values, if you believe what Ben Dixon believes, is completely 180 from mine. And remember, CJ, what we said many times, where we thought the Bernie Sanders movement was bigger than it actually was? When I was first part of the Bernie campaign, I thought there was millions of people that have my same beliefs and core values. But Ben Dixon and many people, I'm going to show you guys some more, their positions are so confusing and so lacking consistencies. I don't even try to be their friends. I stopped doing that for a long time ago. That's why I had a hard divorce. Well, I'm like, okay, you guys are so different from me politically that I'm gonna treat you like I used to treat Republicans, and that's why I treat Ben Dixon the way I do. That's why I treat Marianne Wilson the way I do. That's why I treat Jamaal Bowman, as we're gonna show you later, the way I do, because they do not share our values to the core. So that's why I never allow these people, because Ben Dixon will be the first person they'd be like, come on, man, why are you doing these videos? We agree on 95% issues. No, the fuck we don't. And not only do we not agree on issues, we don't hold the same core values. If you are okay with voting for the Democratic Party after they funded ICE more than Donald Trump did, funding Israel more than Donald Trump did, funding the police more than Donald, if you vote for all that shit, I don't have any explanation other than you have different moral core than I do. And I gotta find another movement to work with, right? So this is just one of many examples. I pulled two Actually, there's 3. Because these are the most hilarious. So Twitter was infested with fucking social democrats and Democrats critiquing Dr. Cornel West over running People's Party as they support progressive candidates running Democrat. So I'm like, I was having a blast last night on Twitter, calling all these motherfuckers. You want to know who else was?
Not Jen.
This shit.
Not Jen.
That's
a Jen right there, man.
This is beyond fucking parody. If you guys want to know what I'm talking about, Jim Perlman ran as a Democrat not once but twice, got destroyed by the most corrupt, one of the most hated politicians, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, running as a Democrat. But she, the failure who grifted working class people and wasted God knows how much money, Jim Perlman has criticisms of Dr. Cornel West and his party alignment. So here's Jim Perlman. I support Dr. West running. No, you don't. I support Dr. West running, but the People's Party is not the answer. So the obvious response, you guys can't see it, but she got ratioed to death, only 14 likes on this garbage. The obvious response is this. If you guys don't know who Jim Perlman is, you guys want to know what Jim Perlman thinks is the right option? If you run as a Democrat, you are serious. If you don't run as a Democrat, then all of a sudden, oh man, I love respecting Cornel West, but you can't do this clown shit. Any thoughts, guys? This Jim Perlman shit is hilarious. Anyone know CJ?
She actually did a video too. So she actually did a video. Maybe we'll cover it another day. She did a video. So I Google search or I YouTube search Cornel West. It's so much content. Like Humanist Report has something. Like
way more than Marianne
has something. Like yeah, it's crazy. But go ahead. It's crazy.
Unbelievable. Just Democrats over here critiquing the Dr. Cornel West over his party affiliation as they run for a pro-war party who primaries are rigged. So with that said, I'll show you guys 2 funny examples. Now I'm going to show you guys the most malicious example. And the reason why I'm doing this coverage, because what I tell you guys about third parties and their biggest obstacle. The biggest obstacle of third party is actually not the duopoly. Like, and this is my personal theory. It's not the duopoly. Because people hate the duopoly. The duopoly not doing anything that win people over third party. Most people want an independent. You want to know who hurt third parties the most and why I have extreme venom for these people? The people who are edgy. The people who consider themselves progressive. The people who are like, I hate Democrats. I hate Republicans. But then when it comes to a final alternative, they're like, oh, man, I know I hate Democrats. But, man, third party is not possible. It's not possible to run third party. And my thesis goes as such. These people are the number one obstacle to building a third party. You guys hear me? Any disagreements? Everyone, the number one obstacle to building a third party are people like Crystal Ball, who I'm about to show you. The people who consider themselves progressive, every single person in the Bernie campaign, every single person that's like, yeah, I agree with Medicare fraud. Yeah, I want to end the wars. But come on, man, not realistic to start a third party. Because you guys, can you imagine how many people they convinced not to support third party? It's a chain reaction.
Pause right. Let me say this part. Because just think about what you just said, what she says. Oh, it's not right time. It's not viable. Tell me how that is not textbook white moderate that Malcolm X and MLK talks about. They trying to say, no, Joe Biden is white. No, Joe Biden is the opposite. He's completely a neoliberal. He's not trying to be our friend. You are. The progressives are trying. Absolutely. Oh, we're here, but it's not time for that. No, we can't do that. No, defund the police. That's too scary. No protesting. That's too scary. You are the one. So the Crystal Balls, the Sam Cedars, the Emma Viglins, the people that don't want us to get into the street, you are the white moderate that our radicals have told us.
And there's and these white moderates have been like, you remember what they said about white moderate Joe Biden? Like, nigga, Malcolm, they made it clear. There's the enemy and then the people who pretend to be on their side. You guys are pretending to be on our side. People like Crystal Ball are pretending to be on our side. Now, I'll show you guys Ben Dixon. I'll show you guys Jim Perlman. Now I'm going to show you guys a series of takes. JB, anything you want to add on before you continue? I know I want to give you a chance.
I got to get going because
wow.
Yeah. But I have my Marxism class in a few minutes. But, man, you made some good points. That's why I was making the faces I was making. I was like,
oh, yeah, I can't wait today. This is going to be a fun show. We should just get warmed up, guys. We just get warmed up. JB, what can they find you? Plug your channel anything for anyone new.
Oh yeah, you guys can find me on the JB Font channel. I have my own channel as well. This Saturday I'll be having on Kit Cabela from Heart Balance Media, so he'll be on my channel. And then next Tuesday I'll be having on Kamal Franklin from Black Power Media on my channel as well. So it's gonna be, yeah, we're gonna have some great conversations in the future. And then also I'll be reading the autobiography of Sada Shakur later this week. So you guys can also tune in.
Guys, JB is gonna be something else in like 5 years. Like he already amazing. But imagine JB in 5 fucking years with the theory reading he's doing, the Marxism classes he's doing. I knew JB when I had my first channel, and I already see a massive. Remember when we had Black Rose Brigade, JB?
Yeah, I remember.
JB now and JB then, it literally brings a smile to my face, like for real. Like I love seeing the growth. So I'm thinking like I'm always thinking that. Like I'm thinking like, nigga, JB in 2028 is gonna take me to school, bro. He's gonna be taking me to school. But anyway, JB, we love you, brother. Thank you for joining.
I'll probably take the next Marxism class, or maybe after that, maybe in the summer if they do another one. At some point, I'm gonna take that class along with some other classes.
You always can learn more.
Like just a brush up. Yeah, you brush up on some stuff. That's good. All right, JB, also, go ahead.
And also, I'll be reading "Laziness Does Not Exist" by Dr. Devon Price. And so I'll also be doing that. By the way, Dr. Devon Price actually reached out in the comment section under one of my videos reading, which was pretty cool. So I can't wait. I'm gonna try to see if I can get Dr. Devon Price.
Get them on. Yeah, let's see if we can get them on.
Fire, man.
So,
yeah.
Right on, JB.
Look, be sure to like this stream as well as subscribe. And thanks to all the patrons of Patreon and everybody who is members. And have yourself a great day. Also, share this on social media so that everybody can hear what Nick and CJ just said. Do it now.
Yeah. And we also have, thank you, JB. We also have over 100 people watching on Rumble. I am monitoring the chat on there, so I'll pull up any Rumble rants that you guys have. So if you're on Rumble, I'm definitely monitoring those chats as well. Appreciate both our Rumble and YouTube family. That puts us around about 650 people viewing between both platforms. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Help us grow. I want to get back to my original theory because this is the period to that, and then we're going to play this video. The reasons why people like Crystal Ball and those moderates, the damn progressives, are the number one threat to third parties, CJ? Because once again, Breaking Points has an audience that, 100 times bigger than ours? 50 times? It's literally multiple times bigger than ours. Like, giant. So do you guys know how many people they be listening to Crystal Ball's coverage? Because she will do a radar talking about how Democrats is horrible, right? Because she does those every once in a while. Like, yeah, Joe Biden didn't do this. He didn't have this promise. Democrats are doing this, doing that. And then these motherfuckers be almost there. They be like, because they following the anti-Democrat coverage, they be almost there. They be right there like, nigga, I'm about done with this shit. Yeah, Crystal, you got me fired up. I saw that radar you did about student debt relief. I had enough. It's time for us to leave the Democratic Party. So as Crystal and these moderates get these people right there, then they say, no, you misunderstood. You misunderstood. We have no choice but run. Right. I know we don't like Democrats, but we got to support Democrats, and third parties will never win. So that person who's almost there, they like, because they trust Crystal, they did say, oh, never mind, you're right. How, and I can not only, just keep me on night. CJ, can you imagine how many people since 2014 was almost there, but was convinced by people like Cal and Crystal? Oh, never mind. I thought it was a good idea, but Crystal and these people obviously know more than I do, and they think it's a bad idea. So I'm gonna just go ahead and support Democrats, I guess.
It speaks to how the professional managerial class think about who they are. They are people who read books and take tests. That's the shit that they understand. So what are they? They're studying our vernacular. They're studying our terms, but without the sort of backing, without the sort of like willingness to actually pull it off, because they only want to catch your ear and then change your mind. Go ahead.
Well said. So I think I preface this video enough. Like, dude, CJ, I had no plans on playing this video. It was like an hour before the stream started. I was cooking. And I was listening, always listen to something while I cook. That's just my routine. So I had this, so I played this. There's nothing that will prepare you for how horrible this coverage is about to be. I'm not exaggerating. We watched many Breaking Points videos, CJ. I think the RFK Crystal Ball interview is up there as one of the worst. But this is up there with the RFK interview. I swear to God.
I was gonna watch it, so we're gonna watch it now. Good.
Yeah, we gotta watch it now.
Good.
That's
Okay.
only reason I'm playing it because I was watching it with my roommate like, what the fuck you screaming for? Because I was literally like, what? I literally had an audible reaction to some of the shit they just say here. And I'm gonna break it down one by one to the point where it's undeniable. And it was so bad. I got to near the end because I was like fuming. And I was like, I want these motherfuckers to debate me so bad. These niggas need to I will clown these motherfuckers so bad. And I want you guys to stay tuned in this video, in this part here, because Crystal puts on the textbook Crystal Ball Dixie performance, but Saiger actually comes in later and says the dumbest shit out of the entire video. Saiger says the dumbest shit I've seen out of anybody during the Cornel West dialogue. I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm saying that so you guys stay tuned because this shit gets crazy. Now let's play.
Swinging.
Now I skip the first 2 minutes and 45 seconds because it's mostly just filler. Talking about what we already know. This is near the end of the announcement video, and then they could get their takes. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is about to be crazy.
Style and a smile. Accenting the best in you and trying to tease out the best in me. Let's do it together.
Wow.
So I think it's a great video.
Yeah.
And Dr. West, I mean, he's an incredible force in American public life, someone I deeply admire and respect.
What does it sound like? She's starting with the Ben Dixon wind-up. I got a lot of respect for Dr. Cornel West, but wait for the but. Wait for the but.
Brave truth teller. I don't think anyone could take that away from him. And I just love his energy. He has always brought
wait for the but,
reaching out
guys.
to people who may disagree with him, but never compromising his values in any way. However, the choice of
However, let's see her critique here. It's unbelievable.
in this way with the People's Party is just
Can you pause it 1 second? Because I want to preface this before we hear it, just so people don't think I'm saying it just because I heard it on there. I haven't seen this. So if her critiques of the People's Party are any critiques that applies to the Democratic Party, what are you talking about? That I just want to say that in the beginning. So listen for the critiques, and let's say, does this also ask yourself, does this apply to the Democratic Party when she says it? You can go ahead, Nick.
Oh man, I can't wait to hear some of this shit, man. They just get started. Listen to this shit. So I went back to the however part because the first 15 seconds after they in the announcement video, she's like, I love Dr. Cornel do the same thing Ben Dixon do. Wait for the however. She don't say but however. Listen to that part.
Compromising his values in any way. However, the choice of running in this way with the People's Party is just confusing to me.
Confusing.
If you're going to run third party, the Green Party has ballot access in almost every state. They obviously were.
So this is something that's been annoying the shit out of me. And
you told us to get serious. She told us to get serious, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I actually love that take. CJ, I love that take. I actually wasn't about bringing it there, but that's such a good point. Remember when we was like, we're not going to support Marianne Williamson. We rather support the Green Party. When that happened, she was like, get serious. Grow up. Now, all of a sudden, Dr. Cornel West is running People Party. All of a sudden, you're a Green Party activist now. Then one of the tweets I sent last night was, CJ and all our critiques of the People Party are legit, but there are people who do not support the Green Party, and I know these people kind of know what they said in the past before. They voted Democrat. These people don't support the Green Party, but they say, man, I would love if Dr. Cornel West ran the Green Party. Nigga, will you practice what you preach? Because if you practice what you preach, you would support the Green Party too. So why are you demanding Dr. Cornel West to support a party that you don't even support? But anyway, let's continue. It can actually get worse. It actually get way worse. This is very mild compared to what Sire going to say later.
Have an impact and gain more traction in 2016 when Dr. Jill Stein ran. The People's Party, from what is publicly available, only has ballot access in 3 states. They've been around since roughly 2016-ish. They've never been able to elect a president. So effectively, you're signing up for what is really like a
CJ, she said the People's Party had never been able to elect a president, even though they had one presidential election. How many presidents did the Progressive Caucus elect? Exactly. I mean, meaning someone who ran as a progressive. How many times did it happen? Zero, man. But I'm gonna let you play because actually there's so much to break down here because they go rapid fire real quick here.
Write-in campaign. I also have questions about how much success you're able to garner as a third-party candidate, just given the structure of American politics, the fact we have first past the post vote.
Hold up. Crystal, hold up.
She just said third party.
You're concerned over the chances of Dr. Cornel West winning as a third-party candidate. CJ, do you remember during Crystal and Kyle, they asked Marianne a question? They like, Marianne Williamson, do you believe you're going to win this election? And then Marianne Wilson said, yes, I'm going to win. And Kyle Crystal like, yay! Yes! Yes, she's going to win. Yes, she's going to win. I'm glad that you're confident, Marianne. They were so happy when Marianne Wilson said that she believes she's going to win. And then Crystal, as the video continues, she just said, we don't live through first past the post. They stand no chance at winning if you're a third party. The obvious response to that is Marianne Wilson does? Running as a Democrat does? So you guys see how these people are Democrats? They believe in Democratic apologia. They don't believe the Democrat Party primary is rigged. They are shit libs, and they don't even realize it. But so what she's saying is that you're better off going through the Democrat Party than the third party, because the Democrat Party is a democratic organization that will going to allow you in. The Democrats are not even allowing Marianne Wilson and RFK to debate. The primaries are rigged. But according to Crystal Ball, I have criticism of Cornel West because he don't have a chance to win. But my good friend Marianne Wilson had a chance to win. Her officiating my wedding clearly has nothing to do with my political analysis here. You guys see what the inconsistency? At least say fucking both. If you want to say I don't support Marianne because she stand no chance of winning, I don't support Dr. Cornel West because you don't stand no chance of winning, I would say you're a coward who not willing to fight for your beliefs, but at least you're consistent. Crystal went to convince you that her good friend had a chance to win, running in a rigged primary, but you should never run third party. Once again, Sliger's take is actually worse than this, whether you believe it or not. And we let play for more. I want you guys to hear a full shitload diatribe, and then we can let it play.
You're signing up for what is really like a write-in campaign. I also have questions about how much success you're able to garner as a third-party candidate, just given the structure of American politics.
But Democrats,
have first past the post voting, the fact we don't have ranked choice voting. So I'm sort of confused about what the thinking is.
Y'all don't have ranked choice voting in the primaries. You dumb dicks. So she's like, well, third parties, they stand no chance because there's no ranked choice voting. So how your primary going to work then? There's no ranked choice voting. There's no star voting. So you're saying that running as a third party is rigged, but the issue I have is because they are implying that running as a Democrat is not.
They flip-flop on this. And it's the same point I made yesterday. These are opposites. It cannot be viable and rigged at the same time. Yes. By definition, if it's rigged, it cannot be viable except for the person that it's rigged for. So anybody else in the race is not viable if it's rigged. This literally doesn't make any sense. And the thing is, Nick, in order for them to be able to like talk out of two sides of their mouths, it's dependent on the people listening to them, just taking them for face value, regardless of any critical thinking. You get what I'm saying? So this goes to why we have to have a dumb left. It's so that they can tell you stuff like this, and you go, really? Okay, I just do that. When actually you should just think about it. And it's like, wait a minute. In one hand, when she's not on the debate stage and they're not covering her, you're screaming rigged. And then when we say, well, why don't you run another party? You say, well, it's not viable. Well, what? How is your avenue of being rigged is also viable? That doesn't make sense. Go ahead.
That's such a great point, CJ. Such a great point. Because Crystal and Kyle would do these videos talking about how they're screwing Marianne. Like Kyle and Crystal did videos like, oh my God, isn't it fucked up they're not allowing Marianne to debate? Then in this video, they turn around and say, oh, come on, why don't you run in a legitimate party like Democrats? Fucking clowns of the highest order. And it gets worse. Like, I swear to God, I need to let the video play more. Because Siger literally had my jaw on the fucking floor after what he said. I'll let it play a little bit more.
Let me hear this,
We chime in. I'm going to let it play. God damn, this shit's hard to get through. But I'm actually going to let it play a little bit here.
Ranked choice voting. So I'm sort of confused about what the thinking is tactically here. Because if you were going to go the third party
now
route,
strategy
there
matters.
seems to be other vehicles. And also, frankly,
you know how strategy now matters? Didn't matter with Marianne. I just love what
Tactics.
you're talking about. But now Cornel West, they talking about strategy. Get the fuck out of here. I let it play. Jesus.
You know, leftists sort of tried the let's have an impact through a third party run thing in 2016. So you kind of know with a third party, like you're not going to win just because of the overall structure of American politics. But if your theory of change is, all right, this is going to put pressure on Biden and the Democrats to move more left and represent.
This is exactly what you guys told us about the Marianne Williamson campaign. Are you serious, Nick? This is literally what they told us when we said she is not going to win. Well, we want somebody who wins, who can be able to say and bring up these topics. This is literally what they told us.
Bro, I don't know if I was cooking, it was loud. I did not hear this part. This part was she literally pulls the push Biden left trope. She's not understand if you run as a Democrat, you run in the primary, you try to influence Biden. Nigga, how did push Biden left go? So according to Crystal Ball, it's a legitimate strategy to run as a Democrat to get leverage over Biden in the Democratic Party, even though Joe Biden literally shifted to the right in funding the police more, cut Medicaid, cut social spending, funding the military more, expanded fracking, public drilling. Biden has shifted to the right since you guys did the strategy and run as a Democratic Party because the Democratic Party saw your support. Everything that she says, up is down. The sky is red. Nigga, everything she said is the exact opposite. And here at this part, we rewind it again. She literally advocates for the push Biden left strategy. I actually missed this when I first scanned this video. That's why I had my reaction. I was like, bro, I don't know how I missed that part. Listen to this part again.
No, with a third party, like you're not going to win just because of the overall structure of American politics. But if your theory of change is, all right, this is going to put pressure on Biden and the Democrats to move more left and represent more of our values. Well, that was tried in 2016. And rather than putting pressure on them to move left, what it actually caused them to do was to further smear and dismiss leftists and anyone who ever said even a single kind word about Dr. Jill Stein, to redouble their efforts to crush any sort of leftist insurgencies, to smear everyone as like, you know, Putin's puppets and fascist sympathizers, etc. And just as a tactic, it wasn't successful. So that's sort of my take. I love Dr. West, doesn't take anything.
So I'll correct myself there. She does bring that up, but her take is even more confusing because she just acknowledged that if you run in the Democratic Party, they're not going to shift to the left. How does that criticism apply to Cornel West? How does what you just said apply? What you just said applies to Marianne Williamson, but you didn't have the balls to say it to Marianne Williamson because she officiated your wedding. You said that if you run in the Democratic Party, you're not going to shift the party to the left, which is a correction. She does say that. But so where is this criticism of Marianne Williamson who's trying to do the same thing that failed in 2016? It's not there because she had him at the wedding. Unbelievably inconsistency. But let's continue because I really want to get to the cycle part before we move on.
Away from my respect for him, but as a tactic, I'm quite confused by it.
It could be he just wants media attention and he wants to try and move the race, you know, in that way. In that way, I mean, listen, it could also be a way in order to garner funding for the People's Party in order to get them on more ballot access to try and get the initiatives in order to set them up for future success. I think that's one way to look at it. I mean, I think that really, in fact, that's probably the most likely scenario, which is that given he's such a well-respected figure and is well-known media-wise, gaining enough attention both in the media forced to cover his run, but also
I'm gonna let it play to Siger says the part I'm waiting for. He says what he says is horrible. I'm gonna let it play until he gets to the point.
To gain enough money and volunteers, then they could go out and to try and get more ballot access so that they could become maybe the next Green Party in the future. Overall, I mean, look, I think people often confuse, political reality for like a judgment. Like, I have no issues with third parties. It's always more I just come down to like, is this a real effort that's actually going to work? And that is why,
right?
I mean, honestly, that's why I respect what RFK Jr. and Marianne are doing, because
what? Well, oh man,
dude, like, I literally dropped everything I was doing. I dropped everything I was cooking. I dropped everything I was doing. And I said, "What you just fucking say?" Let me play that part again. I'm literally like this part stunned me into silence. Siger, she listened to Crystal Ball's Karen bullshit shit lib logic, and he upped the ante. Saiger is a giant shit lib, guys. And I said that for years. He's a shit lib. Listen to this.
Is this a real effort that's actually going to work? And that is why,
Right.
I mean, honestly, that's why I respect what RFK Jr. and Marianne are doing, because they're running as Democrats.
He respects Marianne Williamson and RFK because they are running as Democrats.
The threshold, Nick, for third parties, how these white moderates frame it, it's framed in a way where you're gonna pick the Democrats. That's how they're framing it. So if you could play like the last 5 seconds of what he just said, and you'll see what I mean.
Yeah, I'll play it again.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, what's up, bro? What's up, man? I was playing the video, but thank you for joining us today, brother. How you doing?
Man, I was doing better before I joined this motherfucker. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, we definitely gonna clip this because I want A1 to see how fucking dumb these people are. Because I was watching this segment like, bro, can you imagine if I debate these people on this shit? I will literally ruin their entire political career. Like, I will debate them, and people will never see them as serious political actors again. Because as I was doing the video, I will pick apart their strategy is so infantile. So Saiger has more respect for RFK and Marianne running as a Democrat than he does people who run as a third party because he thinks that there is some sort of negotiating mechanism. There's some sort of power to be willed running as a Democrat, even though that's been Crystal literally seconds before you said that mentioned how running as a Democrat will lead to party shift to the right. And you say, well, I at least respect the people because they run as a Democrat because he's an institutionalist. They hate the idea of anything upending the system they benefit from, any third party. So I'm gonna play it again, CJ. You can chime in, but this is
play that.
I'm actually curious on anything, but all the things that Breaking Point said, I think this is the dumbest. I think out of all the moments we ever covered, Saiger, a quote unquote Republican, says that he respects Marianne Williamson and RFK because they are Democrats, and he liked them more than Dr. Cornel West because Dr. Cornel West literally is a post-duopoly leftist. Saiger
this is an independent media. This is independent media saying I like the Democratic way. Like, this is a freaking joke. But yeah, if you can play that last 10 seconds before I make this point.
Yeah, you finish. I'll play it again. Jesus Christ, this is unbelievable.
And especially with RFK, I mean, RFK Jr. is basically running, on the same policy platform as people who were green.
Oh wait, I think I skipped it. Let me go back again. I think I missed the part. I'll play from here.
Then they could go out and to try and get more ballot access so they could become maybe the next Green Party in the future. Overall, I mean, look, I think people often confuse, political reality for like a judgment. Like, I have no issues with third parties. It's always more I just come down to like, is this a real effort that's actually going to work?
Can you pause it there? That's the part I wanted to hear because the threshold, this is how you know they're a white moderate. The threshold for Green Party and third parties, are you going to win right now? The threshold for Democrats, next cycle. Well, we'll try next time. Absolutely. You see how the threshold is different? You're in power. You are on 50 states ballots. How come you aren't on a win now? How come your strategy isn't, if you don't win now, we're doing something else? It's never that. It's, can you win right now? You can't win right now, Saiger. So what are you talking about? Marianne Williamson can't win right now. Bernie Sanders can't win right now. So what are you talking about? It's all about the illusion of going through the process. To them, that's closer. Being able to go through the process of being on, all the ballots, being that process, even though it's rigged, to them makes it a more viable avenue.
It's close go. Like I'm probably we only play a little bit more of this before we wrap the segment because at this point I think I quit maybe around 7 minutes because I know I watched after this point. I was like, bro, what? It was this statement that made me decide to cover this because this statement is as dumb as it gets in politics, as ridiculous as it gets in politics. And if I was sitting in front of him in his face and they had me on Breaking Point and say this shit, I will expose you so bad. If you say something this ridiculous, like Saiger said, like this is textbook institutionalist thinking, and they are quote unquote independent media. I'll play this part again. This be the last part we play before we move on.
More ballot access, so they could become maybe the next Green Party in the future. Overall, I mean, look, I think people often confuse, political reality for like a judgment. Like, I have no issues with third parties. It's always more I just come down to like, is this a real effort that's actually going to work? And that is why,
right.
I mean, honestly, that's why I respect what RFK Jr. and Marianne are doing, because they're running as Democrats. And especially with RFK, I mean, RFK Jr. is basically running, on the same policy platform as people who were green for decades.
No, the fuck he's not. He's a Zionist, you stupid fuck. That's why he's a Democrat. If anyone confused on why RFK Jr. is a Democrat, RFK Jr. is a Democrat because he's a Zionist. He's class loyal. Are we clear? That's why. Last part, I'll end it.
Jesus but he, Christ. I think, correctly intuited that if I run as a Democrat, that this forces a genuine contrast with Biden. Marianne doing the exact same thing as well, even though they both easily could be third-party candidates. It almost gives them, I don't want to say a legitimacy, but it gives them a more contestable ground. Also, same with many other, look, I don't think Liz Cheney could ever win, but there's a reason she's not running third party. She's like, no, I'm a Republican, because she wants to.
Oh, okay. You guys see where this is going, but
yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, they are establishment, and their job is to smear anything that goes outside establishment, and they're going to work backwards for the conclusion to justify their position. Like, what they're saying here makes no sense, because Cyber pretending that there is institutional advantages of running as a Democrat, and he even mentions in his bill that you might be able to contrast yourself with Biden. You want to know who's been the most successful at contrasting himself with Biden? Dr. Cornel West. And literally in one day, been trending everywhere. This theory that you guys have, that you got to run as a Democrat to be acknowledged, is completely false. Because they ignore Marianne. You guys do segments on this shit every week. Kyle does segments every week about how the media is ignoring Marianne Williamson. How they ignoring RFK. But then they turn around when there's a third-party candidate and say, oh, you should run as a Democrat because RFK and Marianne are getting so much attention. These people are not dumb. They are malicious. Like, I don't believe these people are this dumb. Like, I could pause this shit every 15 seconds and point out how what they saying to you is a lie or bullshit. They are telling you this shit because they have a narrative. They have a motive. They have a bias. And that bias is towards institutions that turn them into millionaires.
Think about this. They're independent media telling you to stay within the bounds of corporate media's teams. Other than independent media, who's supposed to push third parties? Who's supposed to push that? Why is it independent media? Go ahead.
Shouldn't be pushing Democrats nor Republicans at all. We ended for a reason. Yeah. But despite how I feel about voting, or even the people that's running, if you was running third party, even if you don't have ballot initiative or access to ballots in all states, do what you do. Do what you can. I would have more respect for you if you built it from the ground up. And this is the problem. Everybody measure things out in wins, and losses. Yes. Like, dog, we are going to lose. That's what happens when you build an organization. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose numbers. You're going to lose a lot of things. But that's what happens when you build a real organization from the ground up. So maybe the people's party maybe they're doing what they should be doing. We don't fucking know. We're not behind those doors. We're sitting at their desks, right? But to say, oh well, they're not legit, or whatever this don't make them legit, or you should join Democrats because they are more legit, or whatever it may be. That's just bullshit, and they partly loyalists. At the end of the day, and it's crazy how he's a Republican and she's a Democrat, and they just working together. They showing you,
yes, that show does.
They showing you like how you guys have the same things in common, like except for the rhetoric.
Yeah,
y'all are the fucking same. Red and blue is all the same.
To your point, Ron, I didn't mean to cut you off, but to your point, Saiger is a Republican. That's why my jaw hit the floor when you said that. Why you as a Republican saying you respect people who run more as Democrat than third party? Wouldn't it be the exact opposite? You should be a Republican, be like, third party, Dr. Cornel. Any left people want to run third party? That's what usually Republicans do. Saiger is not who he says he is. He's an establishment puppet. That is literally what he is. I can't believe anyone fought for breaking point, but go ahead, CJ.
And another thing is that all of these people are friends, and it's clearly that they can't be in a position to be friends with these people and tell the truth. So they're exposing themselves as being nothing but independent corporate media. Like that's all they're doing. They've been trained. Just think about it. Sagar and Crystal have been trained by corporate media. Yeah. What's supposed to be in front of the camera, what shouldn't be in front of the camera, how to say things, what sources to use. So they're brought all of that to independent media. And I'm going to say this, and this will be my last point on this. They were a lot more independent in their thinking when they were on Rising. When they came by themselves, they went completely corporate. Corporate. So go ahead.
Great point. Romy, last thoughts before you wrap up. I got quite a few stuff to cover. CJ, there's a story that you wanna chime in, just let me know. I had a lot of stuff to cover. We talked about it before the show. But if there's anything you want to cover, just let me know. We do that next.
Just to make sure we cover the Jamaal Bowman.
Yeah, that was my next
Bowman before. Yeah. Okay, that's the only thing I wanted to say. But
Romaine, last thoughts before we move on to the Jamal. The Jamaal Bowman. I just feel like this is gonna be just as funny.
I just feel like they are mad because even if, like, let's say if Dr. Cornel West ran as a Democrat, that helps them overall. It helps bring them money to their channel. Of course, they're gonna bring him on. They're gonna shine his shoes, rub his back, do whatever it takes to get him there to have that that access, that journalism access. But they are he basically throwing a monkey wrench in their cash cow, I should say, which should have been Marianne Williamson, which they see that have backfired, or it is backfiring in their faces in real time. Nobody is interested in her. And with Dr. Cornel West being so beloved amongst a lot of fucking races in America, he's going to take all the spark away from her. He's going to take the little attention, that she had, and a good grip of her followers, a good grip of her supporters, I should say, because you can see that these people will have the same, base or whatnot, or be around that same area or whatnot. But yeah, he's gonna take a lot of money out of Crystal mouth and pockets. So I said mouth. He's gonna take a lot of food out of Crystal mouth and money out of her pockets, and she doesn't like that. So of course they got to step on it and try to at least shame him to where he's gonna one day hop and skip over to Democrats, but I don't see that coming.
So I'm jealous of Rome's new fro. I remember you told me a long time ago, you're like, man, I'm about to grow a fro. Like, whatever, nigga. Look at his fro now. I'm jealous as hell.
Yeah, I got tired of cutting it.
I just saw a few people give you props on the fro in the comments. So I had to at least mention it. Back being one of them here. But CJ, you can put the comment you put up earlier. The next story we get to is Jamaal Bowman and him being a clown. And this is I like to call this a continuing series that we're doing, exposing the NATO left. CJ, we do this once a week because I have so much funk for these people. Of course I have funk for these people. Of course I have hatred for these people. They take an ideology that I strongly believe in. Socialism, progressivism. And they are trying to tie it to Nazism and being pro-war. Of course I'll be upset at that. Why is there not more anger at that? They trying to take our shit. They trying to take our terms and turn it into a pro-war ideology. So yes, I have smoke for the NATO left more than almost anyone else. Look at what Lula is saying about the Ukraine war. Look at what Dr. Cornel West is saying about the Ukraine war now. Look at what all these people on the left saying about the Ukraine war. But you guys are getting that shit wrong? I don't fucking believe you. Now, before we get to Jamaal Bowman, I'm covering this order for a reason. So I'm going to cover this first. Because I do not believe these NATO leftists are as ignorant as they claim they are. They are not as ignorant as they claim they are. Because ever since this conflict started, we saw Nazis literally with Nazi patches on, posing with guns, being part of the Ukrainian military. So as a principled socialist, communist, geopolitics aside, everything aside, we are supposed to be against arming Nazis on principle. Like Ukraine, Russia, it literally does not matter the situation. It literally does not matter who started the conflict. We talk about the Maidan coup and all this shit, but and we all understand that Russia will provoke. But I will go the next step. Even if Russia wasn't provoked, we do not ever, as leftists, communists, and socialists, even the people who historically defeated the Nazis, we never ever fund Nazis, ever. No matter what the fuck is going on. Even if Russia started that shit on their own, even if there was no Maidan coup, you can be neutral, but you never support arming Nazis. That's where I stand, because I know my goddamn history, and because I'm a black man who their ideology is direct opposition towards. They are direct into my life. The Azov Battalion and the neo-Nazis in Ukraine are neo-Nazis, but they're not, because they are Nazis who believe in one nation, one state, one people, and they are willing to engage in political violence to accomplish that. Nazism, right? So the point of them being Nazi was so obvious, even though people try to deny it. People try to deny it the best they can, but we kept catching these Nazis in 4K. Yeah, New York Times got Corey Media like, well, come on, man, there's no Nazis in Ukraine. You guys are there's only like 100 Nazis in Ukraine. So despite the narrative that there's only like 100, 1,000 Nazis in Ukraine, why do we keep catching the Nazis in pictures if there's only a few of them? What are the chances that we have so many pictures of these Nazis? You had Zelensky, who had a bodyguard who had Nazi that had swastika on it. So Zelensky, you the president, and you couldn't pick someone who's not a Nazi, but you guys tell me Nazism isn't a problem in Ukraine. You got streets named after Stefan Bandera, a holiday after Stefan Bandera, but progressives in the NATO left is like, come on, you guys are repeating Putin talking points about Nazis in Ukraine. And I promise you that what Jamaal Bowman thinks. Once again, these things are connected, believe it or not.
Like we can go back to the laws that we had took away. That way we won't get caught breaking them. Like one of them was us not funding Nazis. When we pulled back on that law, they was getting ready to throw a coup in Ukraine at the time. So, like you said, it's all connected. And like, one thing we gotta, as leftists and whatnot, or communists, one thing that we really got to get out of our vocabulary and whatnot is invasion. The invasion of Ukraine. There was no invasion. There was no. These people were called upon for many months and were ignored. People died. Thousands of people died. This is a reaction to people's actions, to them shelling and bombing those kids and those playgrounds and those schools and those hospitals. There was no invasion, but we have to make it look as bad as possible, right? Just like we have to sell. We was gonna bomb Florida to sell a war on Cuba. I'm pretty sure they would make it look as bad as possible to make you guys not only sell this war, but take up for Nazis. Because I have seen people say, yes, there are only a small handful of Nazis that we are funding. There's only like 2% of Nazis that we're funding. Like, no, you're funding Nazis. And you're not about to sit here and tell me, as a black man in America, where, there are a majority whites and a good group of y'all are fucking Nazis or straight up white, right-wing, white supremacists, that there isn't another problem like that in another European country? Really? Where there's almost no fucking other colored people there? You telling me there's no white supremacy problems out there? No, I'm not that dumb. I ain't finished school, but I ain't that fucking dumb.
I usually don't pay attention to many troll comments, but I'm only addressing this for educational reasons. Hitler banned workers from organizing, right? Does that sound like a socialist to you? Does that sound like a socialist?
No, I've heard this a million times. This is for people who don't know socialism, like the AOC and them. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, you won, you beat me with that comment." You get what I'm saying? Like if you don't really know, but when you see it, it's like
they banned socialists, attacked communists, and was openly hostile to left beliefs. But right-wingers believe that Hitler was a socialist. The dumbest motherfucking people. Jameson, the dumbest motherfucker in the comments. And I usually don't address it, but I'm only telling this you guys for education reasons. If you ever hear dumbass people say this, Hitler banned workers from organizing. He went after socialists and communists. What kind of socialist does that? Capitalists and shambles. They got to make up stupid bullshit to justify why they run an economy that crashes every 5 day year, so they got to make a bunch of bullshit to scare people about socialism. Anyway, that's a side point. I just had to address that just for Yeah, this is another good comment. Damn, we comments went fast as hell. This is a good comment to write that little mini segment up. And I only address it for educational purposes, right? So violence, that pro tip. For people who don't know how to address that, for people who stumble when they hear people say Hitler socialist, I want you guys to know how to handle that. Like, you literally laugh at them in the face. Literally laugh at them, tell them what Hitler actually fucking did. And like Violence said, you can't be a fascist and socialist too. The two ideologies literally directly conflict with each other. But let's get back to the story. I just wanted to do that little quick educational part. Oh wait, did the New York Times article? Could we talk about Nazis in Ukraine? Also, Ukraine, ran by Nazis, banned socialist parties. So if Hitler was a socialist, you'd think that Stefan Bandera in Ukraine will love socialism. And they will mandate that shit in schools, everything. But Hitler was a Nazi, and he hated, and he was a socialist apparently. He's so fucking stupid. I can't believe people have thoughts and they don't even think about it. But anyway, let's move on. This is the New York Times article. So what I was saying earlier before we got kind of sidetracked was, in order to justify, this is the thesis of what I was saying. In order to justify their support for the Ukraine war, what do leftists must do? If you're a leftist and you support NATO and the Ukraine war, you must just bullshit people, and you got to lie about the fact that they're Nazis in Ukraine. We're not funding Nazis in Ukraine. Yeah, they're far right. That's what people start saying. They're far right. Nigga, there's a difference between being far right and a Nazi. There's a clear difference, and they've been trying to muddy the water since then. Now, that after that long prefix that leads me to the story, to the point where these Nazis have been caught on 4K so many times that the New York Times is forced to address it. And you guys can share your theories as well. But I think there's literally only one reason they print this story. When I first read the story, I was surprised. But anyway, I'll get to that. I'll read it first, then I'll get to that. New York Times says, the decision by some Ukrainian soldiers to wear patches with Nazi icons threatens to reinforce Russian propaganda used to justify the invasion. It also could give symbols mainstream life after West's decades-long efforts to eliminate them. Now, the funniest thing about this is how they say Nazis in Ukraine, representing their Nazism in Ukraine, reinforce Russian propaganda that there's Nazis in Ukraine. How dare Nazis existing in Ukraine prove the Russians correct? So when you see this story actually backs up and exposes the NATO left in a way, because it exposes that there actually are Nazis in Ukraine. So why do they print this? And you guys can chime in on this as well. But I think they print this because they're trying to tell the Ukrainians to chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
You just say, guys, we're trying to lie to people and say that you guys are not Nazis. You are ruining it by having Nazi shit. Can you guys pipe it down? And they do not. You want to know why they do not? There's a video of a Nazi famously praising and talking about how the West is now supporting their Nazi imperialist ambitions, right? So if you're a Nazi and you truly believe in that shit, like imagine Rome, some motherfucker was like, "Hey Rome, I know you like this communism shit, but hey, drop the flag, drop the love." What would you say? What would you say? What would you say if I was like, Rome, I know we start RBN, but we trying to legitimize ourselves. I can't have you do Nazi shit. What would you say to me, Rome, if I tell you? I mean, communist shit. And what would you say to me, Rome?
Like, what the hell? No, I'll be louder.
You would cut me out on the timeline, and I would get raged out, and I would deserve it. Now, and that's the reaction Ukrainian Nazis had. Nigga, they are real Nazis. They believe that shit, son. When the West come and say higher Nazi shit, they're like, nah, nigga, we are on a conquest. We are purging the Russian filth. We are purging the Romani filth. This is our goal. This is life. Of course, we're not going to hide our patches. So after that, they now have to write these articles so hopefully get to Ukrainian higher-ups because they follow U.S. media. That's my theory. And now here's Aaron Mate. I want to get his take and I'll pass to you. And this is just my preface to the Jamaal Bowman part because he thinks obviously relate. Because Jamaal Bowman part of NATO left, that's like, I don't know what the hell is going on.
That guy is terrible.
So the New York Times admitting that Nazis are in Ukraine, but Jamaal Bowman, a member of fucking Congress who gets briefings. You guys know every Congress person get briefings? So he gets briefings, but you want to pretend he don't know what the fuck is going on? The point is he does. And they are Nazi collaborators because they know they're funding Nazis and they continue to fund Nazis. So I'm telling you guys, let's bring the term back. You're a Nazi collaborator. Okay? So here's Aaron Mate with a brilliant point. United States liberals, which Jamaal Bowman is one of them, are currently, and Ben Dixon, Never forget, we just did a second on Ben.
Yeah, we did that.
The Ukraine war. You want to know who else is for the Ukraine war? Nina Turner in her calls. Remember that? Remember the one time we broke down Nina Turner's show, and then like, yeah, I know we actually support the Ukraine invasion. Like they had to say that. So if you're a Democrat and you're black, you have the white supremacy in the Democratic Party say you Negroes better stay in line and better not get in our way of our white supremacy. And they say, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. That's what Ben Dixon, Nina Turner, and their people do. But anyway, let me continue Aaron's tweet because he's talking about them too, whether he knows it or not. Whether he knows it or not, he's talking about Nina Turner, he's talking about Ben Dixon, he's talking about Jamaal Bowman. Feel free to interrupt, guys. I can't see your guys' verbal cues. Feel free to interrupt. Aaron Marte says, U.S. liberals are currently the world's number one apologist for Nazis. And it's not even close. He said the U.S. liberal is the number one apologist for Nazis, and that includes the guy we're about to show up next. He also says, and this is actually a great point that I didn't notice until I read his tweet. Here, the New York Times grudgingly acknowledges that Ukraine Nazi problem, but it's not a problem because they're Nazis. It's a problem because it reinforced Russian propaganda. So the New York Times is not like, oh my God, what's up with all these Nazis over here? Should we be funding Nazis? Why are we backing up Nazis? That's not their position. They're like, yeah, we know you're Nazi. Can you do a better job at hiding the fact that you're Nazi? We're trying to tell a war here.
And if you reinforce, if in the definition of, or what, there's a phrase when you say reinforcing propaganda, that means the truth. That's all that is. Reinforcing propaganda means truth. So these symbols are reinforcing the propaganda supposedly that Russia's putting out there. That it's just truth. That's all it is. I love that that NAFO dog. That NAFO dog is hilarious to me. Go ahead.
Roman takes
I feel like I would not. We all are trolls in some way. We troll, but I wouldn't take it as far as joining the military and wearing a patch, and going to go kill people or get killed. Like that takes dedication to your craft of trolling. And I don't think you're going to find too many people out there just trying to prank. Because I remember it was a story that came out not too long ago that was like, oh, where they're just trying to scare the Russian army. And I'm like, no. These motherfuckers are Nazis, but that's all you're gonna get is excuses and lies from these people because that's all they can give you. If they was to tell you straight up, like, look, we want to end up, overthrowing Russia. We need their resources. Straight the fuck up. Like, this is what this is over. They have been moving east for a reason. NATO have been moving east for a reason, trying to put nukes closer and closer for a reason. Let's not act naive here. Like what we have done across the world yesterday, we won't do it today. They will love a regime change on Russia, and it gets them closer to who? They get that power from Russia. Shit, they damn near unstoppable. They right next door to China, all that. They already in their oceans and whatnot. Saying, oh well, they're heading towards our Navy ship. Well, get the fuck on. That's what they tell you. Get the fuck on. But right, we are here to steal resources. This is what it's all about. They need to sell this war for the people to feel better about murdering thousands of people with their tax dollars.
Yep. So now we're trying to get to the fun part, the Jamaal Bowman video. I wanted to leave with that one first because his knowledge is readily available. It's to the point where the New York Times, the biggest propaganda rag, up there with the Washington Post and many others similar stature, right? Even they have to acknowledge that Nazis in Ukraine. They don't care about it. They just have to acknowledge the fact that they exist. And now you have Jamaal Bowman, who was called out. Now, this is where things get glorious. Now, let's play the video. And I'm actually not going to preface much of this here because there's a lot to say about this video. This is glorious work. I want to get credit, but I actually don't know who from the Gray Zone did this. But anyway, let's play the video. There's a lot to say, so I'll add anything else at that point. Actually, let me play this one first. This is the first video. Let's get into it. So this is the tweet from the Gray Zone. Actually, I think the video actually says
what do you want us to discuss? The Donbass in Crimea? I don't know if I know much about that. I need to get into
Don't know about Crimea? Now, if you're an ordinary person and you don't know what the Crimea is, who gives a fuck? You're a congressperson voting for war when Ukraine said they are not willing to negotiate for peace unless Russia gives up Crimea. So you knowing what Crimea is extremely important. Extremely important for you to make a decision over anything. But anyway, only a few seconds in. I'll play from the beginning. I'll let it play. There's only 44 seconds. I'll let it play all the way through before I comment again.
What do you want us to discuss?
The Donbass and Crimea.
I don't know if I know much about that. I need to
don't know it.
And learn some more about that. Yeah.
You know what those are?
No. Tell me. What? Educate me.
Well, let me ask you this. What's your opinion on the war for Ukraine? Do you support U.S. aid to the war in Ukraine?
Yes.
Why do you support that?
Because Putin's a madman, and we got to stop him. But I'm anti-war in general.
Okay.
All right.
But, but
I'm anti-war, but I must engage in war to stop someone I politically disagree with. But anyway,
so just so you know, the Donbass and Crimea, those are the central regions in Ukraine, which were in dispute and which started the war over those regions.
Okay.
So.
Hey, Jamaal Bowman's running away. You guys see that? Jamaal Bowman ran away. I thought you said you wanted him to educate you, Jamaal. Jamaal Bowman, you just said, hey, you know more about this than I do, so educate me. Isn't that what you said? It almost like he didn't really want to be educated. Because if you did, why are you running away? And also, he's saying I am pro-war, and I am anti-war at the same time. No, you're being anti-war does not mean I'm anti-war only if it leads to the United States getting their geopolitical situation. Being anti-war means being anti-war on principle, no matter what. So, like you guys see, Jamaal Bowman, pro-war and anti-war at the same fucking time. And he also says, I support funding Nazis in Ukraine. Then he asks basic questions about Nazis in Ukraine. He's like, I don't know much about it. So what did I tell you guys? There's literally, and I don't know why he uses that as an excuse because he thinks that gets him out of it, but it actually makes it worse. It actually makes, because so if you don't know about what's going on in Ukraine, but you voted for it anyway, that means you're a puppet. That means you expose that you're voting exactly how the bosses are telling you to. You're not thinking about shit.
He's literally talking like a puppet. Putin is a madman. We have to stop him. Just talking with a hand up his ass. The same bullshit that we get from every other politician. Why are you supporting Nazis? Why are you supporting these Nazis? Oh, Putin is the bad guy. How? How? There was an invasion. Why? Why Ukraine? Out of all the other countries that are rich with natural resources that they can just go in and bully. But that's not Russia's track record. We can go back and see Russia making friends with countries that with rich natural resources. They're making friends with them, but we come and take bullshit and take out of their land and kill their people, starve their land and their nation. We can't blame that shit on Putin because he has no record of really doing that too much. Now, yes, he is a warmonger. He is anti-communist. He is a piece of shit. But he ain't the biggest piece of shit on this earth that I have seen or I had to live under. Shit, Obama got more blood on his hands than fucking Putin.
That is exactly the point I was going to get to because this Zoya's love. Zoya is life with the amazing point. Biden is a madman. Who's going to stop him? So Jamaal Bowman said, Putin is a madman. He must stop him. Anyone who truly believes that Vladimir Putin has a kill count anywhere near Joe Biden is smoking crack. If you believe that Putin is responsible for more death and destruction than Joe Biden, you are smoking crack. You are crazy. So, but Jamaal Bowman is going to vote for Joe Biden. Not only is he going to vote for Joe Biden, he's going to tell people how great of a job he's doing. He's going to endorse him. So you're full of shit. You're full of shit, Jamaal. And Jamaal could not wait to get the hell out of there because he realized how bad optically this is. He's voting for war, but can't even explain the war. Can't even explain a crucial part of the war. So he exits, he leaves, he abandons the interview because he's a political coward who just takes orders. Take order. I don't know anything about the war, but I'm going to vote for it anyway because Nancy Pelosi and Hakeem Jeffries told me to. I'm a good boy. It's crazy what they just admit, isn't it? They just admit it. He just fucking admitted it here. Now, he ran away from the interview. But the gray zone was not having it. Not having it. So after he ran for an interview, this motherfucker was like, nigga, I'm waiting here for you, and you gonna explain why you pro-war. Now, this part of the video is actually the part I quote tweet because this part is interesting to me because it shows Jamaal Bowman's class loyalty and his perspective. Look at the disdain that Jamaal Bowman has towards this reporter for asking him questions about his votes. Remember when they said Trump is uniquely evil based on how he treats reporters? Look at how Jamaal Bowman treats this reporter here. And look at what the message that he's saying. That you don't fucking question me. Look, this is the part that caught my attention more than anything. How he responds. Look at this.
Congressman Bowman.
What's up, man?
We just spoke.
Come on, man. What's up, man?
I got to follow up because you went inside.
No, you don't. Got to follow up. Leave me alone.
No, you don't have to follow up. Leave me alone. Can you guys imagine the fucking meltdown that liberals will have if a reporter went to Donald Trump and said, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Why? Nigga, they said Trump demonized the press all the time. So here's a reporter that you guys apparently supposed to respect. You're supposed to respect freedom of the press. And he's doing his job because he needed to ask you these questions. You ran away the first time. You thought you was gone. You come back, and then they ask you more questions. You're like, oh, come on, man. Stop doing your job. Stop asking me questions like I'm a politician. This is absolute scumbag, corrupt behavior. Just like the worst kind of politician, you are never allowed to question him. You're not allowed to question him about his votes. And if you do, you're being rude. Now, I'm going to continue to play the video. The reporter doesn't fall for that. But Jamaal Bowman is engaging in tactics that are meant to intimidate and to silence dissent. But luckily, people at the gray zone are smart enough not to fall for that. So I'm going to play the beginning part again. Feel free to chime in anytime you guys want, guys. This is Jamaal Bowman doing the same thing they accused Trump of doing, being anti-free press. You can't ask him a question because he's above it all.
Congressman Bowman.
What's up, man?
We just spoke.
Come on, man. What's up, man?
I got to follow up because you went inside.
No, you don't. Got to follow up. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Else.
I will, but I have to ask you.
Imagine Donald Trump. Can you imagine the headlines? And Donald Trump's like, leave me alone. Stop pressuring me.
He can't even answer a couple of questions. And, they feel like they shouldn't be questioned. And if he was if he was real about this, he would have been like, yeah. So what? What the fuck you going to do about it? Right? Because all y'all going to do is vote for me next year. People going to forget about this anyway. So what? Yeah, I fund war. Yeah, we fund Nazis. That's what we do. We party. Look, these white people hanging out the damn window.
This is what so Jamaal Bowman, the reason they're so shifty, because if you are making righteous decisions that you feel are right, you will be running to the mic.
Yes.
But when you clearly know the things you're doing, the vast majority of people are going to be upset about. This is why you duck and dive. This is why you have closed town halls. This is why you say, oh, I'll talk to you. And this is why we have a democracy, so everybody can win. Remember that protest so everybody can talk. Remember that protest? So what this tells to me, he clearly knows what's happening in Ukraine.
Yes.
If a congressperson is telling you, I don't know nothing about that, that is a bold-faced lie. That is them saying, I know something about it, but it's an issue that I do not want to talk about, so I need to pretend I don't have any knowledge. And that's what he's doing. It's pretty despicable how he's picked up on these, because that's a tactic that usually takes you like 10 years to get as a politician.
Yeah.
He's gotten it in 2. Go ahead.
Remember what I said a year ago, guys? Maybe 10 months ago around that time frame? I told you guys that the squad, Jamaal Bowman, then was ordered not to speak about Ukraine. That was my theory, and literally over the course of 9 months, that theory has grown fruit. It is true. Every single time any progressive is asked about Ukraine, remember Bernie, who you funded by? Come on. Now, Jamaal Bowman, leave me alone. Rashid Tlaib, I'm not going to answer the question about the Nord Stream pipeline. Nigga, they were given an email with the line, you do not fucking talk about this. The only people allowed to talk about this are the far right so they can make it look bad. Being right here. And they are following orders. And if you are pressed on this, you feign ignorance of the situation. Remember Bernie Sanders' interview now thinking about it? He gave an interview where he recently actually, I don't really follow, I don't pay attention to
that's the line. That's the line. Because if you know it and you're making a decision, you are a fucking terrible person. You see why they have to say that?
You're a Nazi collaborator.
You're a terrible person.
No, CJ, you are absolutely on point. Because if you acknowledge that you know what's going on, then you can't deny the fact you're a Nazi collaborator. And if Bernie, they go to Bernie too. If Bernie and Jamal, if you're not that engaged, you're not real well read on Ukraine like they claim, we don't believe that. Because I said before, congressional people get fucking debriefings. You think they don't know? These guys 100% know what's going on. Get the fuck out of here. He knows exactly what's going on. But their job is not to say anything. That's the order that was given by the establishment. Now let's continue. I actually haven't watched too much of this video. I literally rage quit, and I got exactly what I wanted to hear when he was complaining about reporters. Ron, go ahead, chime in.
I'm not surprised, because we live in a land of hypocrites, where people are, Christians only in the name. People are anti-war only in the name, because when it comes to actual war, they will put their God as the reason why we should be going to wars and whatnot. So, all these people are nothing but hypocrites at the end of the day. Their supporters, the voters, the people who run for office, all these people are just delusional. Half of them are insane. Another half don't even know what the fuck is going on for real. But it's a shame. But this is the land that we live in. This is America. Like, everybody is just dumb, and they will vote for this man again because there's gonna be a threat to his right. They got a little bit that's talking a little bit more funkier than him. He like, oh well, you're gonna pick this guy over me. He want to take away this. He want to take away whatever the fuck it may be. Even though he ain't even doing shit to keep those things, to build safety nets in case people in his town lose things like benefits that the man that he endorsed is about to cut. So yeah,
Jamal, what? I just now kind of made a breakthrough. I know why this video is so pathetic and upsets me so much, because this is exactly how Marianne Williamson treated Marcel. This is exactly how the progressive Democrats treat people who protest them at their events. And why did Jamaal Bowman? I'll play the video again because I see everyone ripping Jamal in the comments. Everyone saying he's being extremely cringe, extremely embarrassing. But the professional managerial class loved this shit, son. Jamaal Bowman gave that little theoretical performance about gun rights, and now you see a reporter pressing him on question. You see how smugly he pressed people that he don't view to be on the same level as him to the side. The PMC class see Jamaal Bowman attitude, and they vibe with this shit. You don't ever ask me questions. You don't hold me accountable. They see Jamaal Bowman. They think he got alpha energy with this shit. Now I'll play the part again. I'll let it play because actually I'm going blind after maybe like the first 30 seconds. I want to hear what he says. But this part I definitely want to show because this without a shadow of a doubt shows that this guy is bad faith. We already knew it. The first clip exposed it. But this part, like, don't ask me questions about this thing I'm voting on. I'll read the super chat real quick. Thank you for $10, NRJ. The amount of patience y'all have to run through the nonsense shit lib clips is no easy task. Such a brain drain to deal with these gatekeepers. Keep it up. Now, I'm speaking for myself here. The reason why I do this is because I want to show you guys how much distance there is between us and the establishment. Why you have to be against the Democrat Party. And I show people like Breaking Points. We show people like Ben Dixon, people who call themselves progressive, people who call themselves socialists. And when you see our politics compared to them, you realize that these niggas are establishment and we are completely different. We're not on the same side. And for the longest time, people like Crystal and other people were like, oh, we agree on most issues. But after RB, and that shit is obviously not true. Anyway, I watched a few more. We watch a few more seconds of this, and then we wrap up this segment. Actually, do it on 5 minutes.
Congressman Bowman.
What's up, man?
We just spoke.
Come on, man. What's up, man?
I got to follow up because you went inside.
No, you don't got to follow up. Leave me alone. Talk to somebody else.
I will, but I have to ask you one more question.
Why?
Because you didn't know
why
what Donbass and Crimea were.
Yeah.
Oh, when I first. No, I let play.
But you still support aid for Ukraine.
Yes.
It was central to why the war started. So shouldn't you?
Well, that's what you're saying. I got to dig in to see. I'm sure others have another opinion on why that war started as well.
Well,
Putin's a madman.
There are multiple factors. Why do you think the war started?
Come on, man. Why you got just fluent? Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? Good to see y'all.
Oh, look how desperate he is.
Because
He's trying
our
to
foreign policy is crap, and we solve problems with war. And the military-industrial complex is mad powerful.
Okay.
And they control members of Congress.
Can you pause it?
The complex is mad powerful, so I follow in line with them and help boost their profits. CJ, I don't know how much you saw. I'm literally going.
He said No, I'm hearing, I'm listening to everything. Even though, like he said, our foreign policy is crap. In the military, all he is saying is admitting why he's voting the way he's voting. Our foreign policy is crap, and I'm owned by the military-industrial complex.
Right.
And here is where we have to address this point: is that how is it that you're not taking any money from the military-industrial complex, but you're voting the same way as the people who's taking money from the military-industrial complex?
Absolutely.
You are worse. You're doing this shit for free. You're not getting no kickback, and you're still pushing the same line. You're worse. And on top of that, you're taking money from regular working people because you want to say, I'm uncorrupted, but you're voting the same way. So what is the purpose of you not taking money? What is the purpose when you're doing the same thing? That's my final thoughts. I do gotta get going. My daughter's homesick, and I'm gonna take her. I'm gonna take her down to this little urgent care real quick.
We're next time we see CJ.
Yeah, I'm gonna be back on. I'm gonna try to start streaming more. The last couple of months, I've only been doing like 3 days. So I'm gonna start to bring it back up to 4 or 5 days. So tomorrow I'll be back, and hopefully Thursday. I'm starting to feel better. But yeah, I'm gonna take her to urgent care real quick. So, all right, fellas, I will talk to you later.
Yeah, have a real one. So this part, Jamaal Bowman is panicking. You guys know what everything he did in the last 25 seconds is panic because he's being asked direct questions. Jamaal Bowman's attempt to shame the reporter for doing the job and attack the reporter. Because when I first watched it, because this is what I was about to say earlier. When I first watched this clip, I thought he was about to be like, just playing, man, just fucking with you. No, he was dead serious. He was really angry at that reporter when it first started. Like, come on, man, what are you doing? Now, why does he do that? Because that will work on every single Washington corporate reporter. Every single Washington corporate journalist that work at the New York Times, Washington Post, they will see that energy like, oh, come on, man, I don't mean to offend. They'll get back into civility politics. But Grayson don't give a shit about that, so he stayed focused, and he started asking him pointed questions, and Jamaal Bowman did not know the answer to very important questions. Like he asked him this question. Actually, I'll play this part again. He asked him, why do you think this war started? And Jamaal Bowman panics because he don't know the answer to the question. So he's like, hey, how you doing, man? It's been a long time since I've seen you. Hey, come on. Oh, yeah, all foreign policy. So he started rambling because he's panicking and he's trying to think of something to say. And I'll play that part again so you guys see what I saw. Because it's obvious what he's doing here.
I'm sure others have another. Why?
Because so you didn't know what the Donbass and Crimea were.
Yes.
But you still support aid for Ukraine.
Yes.
It was central to why the war started. So shouldn't you?
Well, that's what you're saying. I got to dig in to see. I'm sure others have another opinion on why that war started as well.
But he don't know it. He don't know it.
He's a madman.
There are multiple factors. Why do you think the war started?
This is where he panics because he's asking. This reporter is not being distracted. And he continued to ask him another great question. This question is so crucial, especially if you support the war. Why do you think it started? Because this literally goes down to the Russian claim versus the Ukraine claim. You don't even have a theory. You are so dumb. Or you pretending to be dumb. You don't even know what to even say about this. So this is the part where he panics, and look at what he does as he tries to think about how to get out of this.
He was a madman.
There are multiple factors. Why do you think the war started?
Come on, man. Why you got just fluent? Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
he was like, come on, man. Hey, y'all. Trying to change the subject. He's trying to do everything he can. And he was like, yo, for you at foreign policy, because he realized he's talking to a lefty at this point. He realized he's talking to a lefty. So then he goes on the spiel where he's like, yeah, U.S. foreign policy sucks. He's trying to win the guy over. Look, this is my interpretation of the events. This is exactly my turn. Look at this.
Come on, man. Why you got just fluent? Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? Good to see y'all. Because our foreign policy is crap, and we solve problems with war and the military-industrial complex.
You guys see? That's the part where he realized he's talking to a lefty, and he don't know what to say. So he's like, all right, I'm going to just say some fucking virtue-signaling bullshit so this guy can get on my ass.
He didn't even respond to the question. How do you think the war started? So he think the war started because the U.S. foreign policy is crap. Like, he didn't even answer him directly. He just like how you said, he just started spewing some bullshit because those are his notes that they give the puppet. You know, for him to say, he say this shit all the time on Twitter. Basically, those are tweets. You know what I'm saying? Some Nina Turner bullshit tweets. How would your life be? How would your life be better with $15 an hour, motherfucker? But yeah, all these people, they aren't serious, man. And like you said, this is a great question. Why do you think the war started? Because Russia has if we just Ukraine has nothing. Ukraine has damn near nothing that Russia would need as far as resources or people, labor. What the fuck? Something happening going on, and as we can see, with the West collectively funding Ukraine collectively, I like how a lot of people like to say, well, Russia has been fighting Ukraine for a year. Russia has been fighting Ukraine. Russia been fighting NATO and the West as a collective for a year. That's why it's taking so fucking long. But why are they there? Because the ethnic Russians was getting murdered. It was getting killed. It was getting shielded. That is a great reason to go in and try to stop it. And once they started to get a control on things, then we start to see the West panic and move in and start moving weapons and more troops. And as we can see, American troops are out there dying on the ground right now because of this war that we started, because of the coup that we threw on Ukraine, and starting in 2011, 2014, so yes, in a weird way, Jamaal Bowman did answer him correctly because of the U.S. foreign policy sucks. That's why this war started. Yes, he's correct on that, but it's just a shame that that's all these people got is these talking points. Yeah, like they're some fucking dummies. So they can't answer real questions because they're not really used to being held accountable. Because if the people in their own city don't hold them accountable, if the media don't hold them accountable, then who else is gonna hold them accountable?
That's what made this video so glorious, because what has been my thesis, guys? There's literally no justification for being part of the NATO left. Zero. They avoid the topic. The people who have YouTube channels who are NATO left, they don't talk about any Ukraine issues. I know they never talk about Zelensky's corruption. They don't cover it because there's no way to justify the position if you're a leftist, except if you're a Democrat and you want to get along with Democrats. So you have to support the Ukraine war. I don't know, like Marianne Williamson, for example. You want to be a Democrat, so you support the Ukraine war. That's how this fucking shit works. So anyway, this be our last play of the video. I'll try to let it play as much as I can tolerate. Not too long, so I'm gonna let it play just for a second of this segment, and then we get the super chats and we get ready to wrap up here soon.
Complex is mad powerful. Okay. And they control members of Congress.
Like you.
That's why wars start. You know this.
I agree with that.
You already know I know this.
But you support aid for Ukraine.
Come
what about
on,
a
man,
diplomatic solution?
Am I the one
Come on, man. Stop bringing up facts that are fucking inconvenient to my narrative.
What about this? Y'all tripping, man.
I'm
what do you mean? What about
how we? Oh my God, you tripping, man? Why you calling me out for my votes, man? Like I'm a politician or something? Like I'm a public servant.
Solution. I've called for that. Others have. You don't know this?
But if you keep giving the money, does it not prolong the war?
Listen, there's a military-industrial complex that has been in place since America was founded. There needs to be a movement. What's up, brother? Chilling. To stop it. Members like me in Congress,
you vote in favor of giving money to that complex.
That's a vote.
Ukraine.
That's a vote in that moment for that issue at that moment.
It's a war issue.
It's not like something I'm going to vote for every time I'm here for 20 years or 10 years
or
or 5 years.
But does it not give money?
And there's no blood on his hands. Like that's just why. You see how these people think less of us. They don't even see us as humans. He voted to end people's lives. He voted to end people's lives, and it's just, oh man, that was just that one time in that one, and that what?
What?
It still affects people's lives today, just like the war in Afghanistan. It's still affecting people's lives today. The war in Yemen is still like, what the fuck? It doesn't matter if you voted here nor there. You still have blood on your hands.
Jamaal Bowman's ability to improvise is beyond horrible. Like, this boy is great at reading scripted shit. Well, great depending on how you define it, right? But when he had to improvise, you see, this guy has nothing in the toolbox. He cannot improvise at all, just like AOC can't improvise. He said, yeah, I voted for war this one time, but not like I'm going to vote for war forever. Get off my back. I only voted for one war, man. Come on, man. I only voted for one of those wars. Who hasn't fucked up and voted for a war? Anyway, I'll play. This is so funny. I didn't see this part of the video. I actually must play a little bit more of it. This is
complex. Something I'm going to vote for every time I'm here for 20 years or 10 years.
Vote for every time.
That's a vote in that moment for that issue at that moment. It's not like something I'm going to vote for every time I'm here for 20 years or 10 years
but
or 5 years.
On the complex, but does it not give money to the complex? And you do that? I'm just trying to understand your rationale.
What do you mean? Why are you asking me about my rationale?
Why are you asking me questions? What do you think you are, a reporter? What do you think I am, a politician? Do you think I have power? Oh, shit. Like, bro, these people are so far gone. They forgot the roles. This motherfucker is so corrupt. He forgot that the reporter job is to ask them these questions. Like, can you see how far gone Jamaal Bowman is? But people want people to run as Democrats after seeing this. Democrats destroy your brain. Look at AOC, who sounds like Nancy fucking Pelosi now. The Democrat Party mows and destroys your brain. Look at Crystal Ball and her dumb analysis. That running in the Democratic Party is worth it. This is the only thing you would get. This is unbelievably bad. I told you guys, I made 30 seconds of this video. This video is unbelievably damn. Probably one of the most damning things I've seen for Jamaal Bowman. One of the most fucking emperors had no clothes, most obvious, you're a puppet in a suit moment. That you have, not only do you know anything about Ukraine, but you're not even a good improviser. You're not even good at critical thinking. You're not even good at speaking on, like, why are you even there? There's no meritocracy in this country. That's why. Gee, this video actually, I was about to stop it, but this video actually very interesting to me now. Feel free, let me know how you do it on time, Ron. We're going to wrap up this.
I'm just trying to understand your rationale.
What do you mean? Why are you asking me about my rationale? I am totally
You're a prominent guy, and you vote for the funding.
There are many people in there who actually support war and hate and want to raise military funding every year.
I agree.
I voted against raising military funding. Did you know that? You didn't know that? You did not know that.
I did not know that.
See that? So
now Jamaal Bowman's mad. Bro, I know what I mean. I got a lot of arguments with my brothers before. Dude, the tone that Jamaal Bowman is pulling on right now is anger, bro. Like, he is fucking furious that this guy is exposing him right now. And he think he got him. Like, your vote for Ukraine literally expanded the Pentagon military budget. You can't say, well, I voted to decrease the military budget, even though that vote didn't count. Your vote to decrease the military budget didn't pass, and then you did something that increased the military budget. So you can't go to the vote that failed, you stupid fuck. But look at how angry he is. Like, I didn't see none of this stuff. I'm watching this shit blind at this point. This video is probably one of the best exposés of a squad member I've seen. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, this shit should be the end of Jamaal Bowman. It's unbelievable. Listen to this part again. I'll let it play some more.
Raise military funding every year.
I agree.
I voted against raising military funding. Did you know that? You didn't know that? You did not know that.
I did not know that.
See that? So look at my full record before you come to me about one single vote.
You should also look at what starts a war before you vote in favor of funding it.
I know what starts a war.
What do you think started a war in Ukraine?
Who is a madman? There's a military-industrial complex. He doesn't want Ukraine to be part of NATO. This is Western oligarchy, imperialist crap.
Bro, we have no idea what he's talking about. This video is glorious. This video is way better than I thought it was going to be. This video is absolutely good. This guy had no idea what he's talking about. And it made full liberals, but for leftists like me and Ron, people who actually know this shit, bro, this dude is giving up the most Kamala Harris word salad I ever seen in my life. What he's saying inherently makes no sense. Inherently. But he's so dumb, he don't even know that what he's saying don't make sense. He thinks he's killing it right now.
Putin is a madman. There's a military-industrial complex. What the fuck are you saying, Bowman? Like,
this is sorry, Rome. I'm gonna feature this comment. I'll pass it back to you. But this is a great point. I didn't consider this. This from Rondo Ellsworth. This Obama was an educator. The deaths of U.S. ignorance makes sense with educators like that. And now that is true. This guy was a principal. This guy was a teacher. This guy is an educator. I didn't even consider that. Thank you, Rondo. That's a great point. But what does that say? That this guy was in education? But Rome, yeah, I didn't mean to cut
you off. But he can't even shoot off the hip against a reporter and be like, yes, I did fund the war with Ukraine, but at the time we thought that was the right move to make sure that the people of Ukraine were protected. I could have made up that. Boom.
Right.
Nigga, that's off the hip. Freestyling. You can't even do that as a politician. You can't even lie correctly as a politician. Shit, you can't even do half your job there.
Dude, that's such a funny point, Ron. Bro, imagine if you had... He is so dumb, he can't even explain his neocon position. Or he was told not to, right? Because if I was in Jamaal Bowman's place, I know what the liberals say about this war. He don't even know that. He is such a puppet that he don't even know how to justify his votes. He don't even say liberal shit like, well, technically Russia is an aggressor and their claims of Nazis in Ukraine is overblown. NATO encroachment is overblown. There's no threat. Like, there's a lot of liberal talking points to justify their support. He don't even do that. He don't even know the basics. He don't even know the basic Morning Joe Ukraine shit, but he voted for the war. Bro, I've seen liberals way more convincing arguments than you did. Pooh is a madman. Biden is a madman. There's a lot of madmans. Are you saying that we should bomb every single madman? You're going to be anti-war. So if your threshold for whether we should go to war or not is based on whether the leader is a madman or not, you're not anti-war because you're going to war with everybody. Right?
Anti-war means finding peace. Finding peace amongst each other. You guys, I know we was born in the U.S., so yes, we were all taught to hate one another and whatnot. We have to think better. We have to think like leaders. People are going to be different. People are going to live different lives. They're going to come from different places, and we're just going to have to make it work. Some way, somehow. We all live on this earth together, and if you are anti-war, then you should be advocating for peace, whether that be with the Russians, China, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia. Because people thought shit like this was impossible, that, the world only speaks in bombs and wars, but a lot of countries have been proving this wrong. This is propaganda fed to you by the U.S., because we see that China have help bring us peace in the Middle East, helping us build infrastructure across nations. Soft power, friendships and longevity, socialism is powerful, and we can do it. But the U.S. propaganda is just so thick, man, that Americans are dumb. I'm sorry. But that's it. I
didn't mean to take the video down, but I'll play this. This is how we'll write the stream up, because you guys saw the position of Jamaal Bowman and the Progressive Squad. We've seen the position of Nina Turner and her black co-host. And if you guys haven't seen, we did a video breakdown a long time ago where Nina Turner and her black co-host was forced to say that they support the Ukraine war. All these black brothers and sisters who are Democrats who support this war, including the entire Black Congressional Caucus. My congressperson, Emmanuel Cleaver, never holds town halls. The second that motherfucker holds a town hall, I'm going to be there, Jose Vega style, calling this motherfucker out for funding Nazis in Ukraine. Because the entire Black Congressional Caucus does. And they ain't trying to gaslight us that black people are supposed to be in support of war, which are revolutionary leaders, and our black leaders like MLK, Malcolm X, and many others like Fred Hampton spoke out against war. So you guys are gaslighting us again regarding our anti-imperialist, anti-war black heritage. And not only that, you're trying to gaslight us into supporting Nazis. Okay? So this is why, unlike Marianne Williamson, unlike RFK, because he ran as a Democrat, Cornel West is a threat because he's running as an independent, calling out this war. Now, I'm pleasantly surprised at this take, because I heard Cornel West speak about Ukraine before, and I was like, oh man, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that one. But clearly, Dr. Cornel West learned from Chris Hedges, who wrote an article, and he was a good friend of Dr. Cornel West. It seemed like Dr. Cornel West is one of those people who learns. He had a lot of bad takes, but he learns and he develops, right? So this is an article. This kind of highlights where he stands on NATO, because what this is all about. That way everyone is asking. He calls for the disbandment of NATO. Now can you imagine Jamaal Bowman saying this? Like, this is someone who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about, right? He explained NATO has expanded by 14 countries, including some of those countries that was once part of the Soviet Union. Let's see, I'm trying to find the quote. Let's see if I find a quote. I think I might have the wrong article, but it is. Let's see if I find the part we go. This is not the. Actually, not the part we're looking for. But Dr. Cornel West on this platform. Let's see if I find the receipt. I think I fucked up. I think I said the wrong. Let's see, Dr. Cornel West, Ukraine. Put NATO. Well, I guess I might have skipped it. I fucking did it. I put the wrong goddamn. Oh well, fuck it. We in the segment because I actually don't have the. I wanted to show you guys this platform. JB covered this as well. I don't have the link saved, but he was calling for the dismantling of NATO. Now compare his position to Jamaal Bowman, to Nina Turner, who can't even accurately call out NATO as the reason for this war. Had no idea what this war is going on. And these same people are going to pretend that Dr. Cornel West is their good friend. They're going to pretend that Dr. Cornel West is someone they are ideologically aligned. It's a shame he's running in the wrong party. The same with Lula. And these are people that me and Ron, we all got criticism of. But you guys are significantly to the right of Lula. You guys are significantly to the right of Dr. Cornel West and others. There's to our right. So how far gone are you? Anyway, I apologize. I couldn't find it. I literally messed up. I put the wrong link in here. I'm kicking myself for that. But Aaron, we'll just cut the segment before that, I guess. So any last thoughts, Ron? We 2 hours in. We just wrap up there.
I feel like however it go, with Cornel West running or Marion Wim, whatever, whoever you support, just don't forget. Just don't forget when these motherfuckers are denied. Like, we are dealing with not only a stacked deck, rigged elections, billions of dark money, murderers. So when you calling for NATO to be disbanded and broken up, what are NATO known for? Like, we have to we have to be realistic about it. And a lot of people tell me to be realistic about revolution or this and that. I'm saying, do your thing, build your third party. But when that don't work, y'all better hit the fucking streets again. I don't want to hear all that bullshit or that burnout like all y'all did with Bernie Sanders when he seemed that he couldn't win, or he showed you that he couldn't win, and the DNC told y'all that they picked the nominee. So y'all have a long way to go. If y'all going to build this third party, if y'all going to work with the People's Party, whatever party that may be, the Green Party, make sure they get access to these ballots. Y'all better get on the ground today. Yesterday. As soon as he announced it, if y'all going to vote for Dr. Cornel West, y'all should have been on the ground yesterday. Yeah, straight absolutely. The fuck up. Because he's going to need all the fucking help he can get. Because if y'all building this shit from the ground up, you better hurry up and make sure that it has a strong foundation, because without a strong foundation, I'm sorry, not to take any shots at the Green Party, but without a strong foundation, it will collapse from the top bottom. So be careful.
So my bad. I found a part I don't know why I couldn't find it earlier, but this is the part I wanted to read, and I'll tweet about this as well. And it also highlights, I believe Chris Hedges was like, "Hey, motherfucker." Hey, motherfucker, you get this shit right. Also, there are a lot of criticisms of the People's Party that I agree with, but the People's Party got the Ukraine war right as well. So I think they also had influence on Dr. Cornel West. I'm going to read this part here. On his campaign website, one of West's campaign policies titled End the Wars advocates disbanding the North Atlantic Treaty Organization military alliance and stopping all foreign aid, bringing troops home. That's Marianne Williamson not saying this shit. You're not getting progressives saying this shit. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, or anyone. I haven't heard RFK call for the abandonment of NATO.
They both sides in the war. RFK is both sides in Palestinians and Israelis, and she's doing the same thing with imperialism across the world. I've seen so many tweets. This woman somebody saying you can't have what they said. You can't have peace in U.S. imperialism or some shit like that. You can't be anti-war, something like that. And she's like, yes, you can. We can be a force for good. A force for good. The U.S., the country that's been at war most of its life. Like that, I don't know. But yeah, they out there both sides and things. But yeah, there's a lot of things that people are going to agree with. Like me, I wouldn't vote. No, I wouldn't be advocating. I wouldn't, endorse anybody. But if this is what you guys going to do, I'm telling you, you see how candidates that even, that had everything that they needed to get on that debate stage was still denied with a third party. We have had people on that was denied the right to speak, denied the right to debate. So if you're going to build this third party, you have to make sure that y'all have everything that you need. You got to be militant. You got to be smart. You got to be on this. You got to be on that. You got to protect the man. You got to do whatever it needs to be, whatever needs to be done to make sure that what y'all like to say, our our ideas get on the debate stage, even though majority of the country already agree with us. So, but whatever, just get on the ground and make sure that y'all voices are heard. If this is what y'all want, make sure that y'all get the access to these ballots and try to scare these people. Try to scare the establishment as much as you can. But when you fail, get back on the ground. I'm gonna say it again because you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail, and you got to get back on the ground. Try again. Build it back up. Try again, because they have trillions of dollars, millions of people against us. The media, whatever, you know where I'm getting. So yes, you're going to fail. You can't just get in, think you're going to win, and get out. No. If you're in it to fight, you got to be in it to win it. So you get knocked down, keep on going. It's going to be a long ride, especially building a third party in America. And I don't see that that third party being militant, I should see, or being protected by anybody that's militant. They don't have any sanctions of people that, or a secret service that's going to protect their people, I should say. But all right, that's all.
Yeah, we get some super chats. That's our main coverage of the day. I want to say this announcement to the end. So we did our stream yesterday. We did our breakdown today. Dr. Cornel West will be joining us sometime next week. His wife reached out to me because they saw our live stream yesterday. We did where we were critiquing the strategy. We said nice things. We said we had critiques because we don't stand in with nobody. You guys know I'm very open about the fact that he liked my Substack. We talked on the phone a few times. Had him on my show. I'm friends with his wife. That's how she contacted me. But I don't let that shit affect my judgment in general at all. So Dr. Cornel West is going to come on the show. We're going to be a great conversation. So this is the second time that RBN is interviewing a presidential candidate, and they asked us. So, hey, that's how it's done. We get politicians that want to come on our platform and explain themselves to us, and that's how it's done. That's the exact opposite of active journalism, instead of the Marianne Williamson people who suck up to her lie, get bad analysis, in hope that she come on your show. So Dr. Cornel West will be on her next week. Dr. Cornel West will be on Saturday, on Thursday. So it's good that West is listening to us. And West had some very horrible takes. There's a bad Reagan take from 2011 that's going around. So you posted that as well. We played the Sister Soldier clip from the 90s. Remember how moderate that Dr. Cornel West sounded in the 90s? You saw that Ronald Reagan quote in 2011. And this is my opinion. I may be naive. My bias may be getting ahead of me here. And that's why I have my brother Rome and CJ to keep me honest. But Dr. Cornel West seems like one of those people who learns. You know what I mean? He seems like one of the people that he grew up in academia. And remember, I told you guys, your brain will be shattered going through American education because essentially propaganda. Like if you're an educated person, that means you're just good at memorizing American propaganda. So despite going through Harvard, going through all these liberal institutions, he went from the guy we saw in the Sister Soldier video in the 90s, trying to get Sister Soldier to calm down, to the guy he is now. So to me, I may be a naive, and if I feel I'm open to pushback, but I feel like Dr. Cornel West is the kind of guy who legitimately learned from his mistakes. If he's wrong, I'll say he legitimately changes it. Remember, he's endorsed Obama. He endorsed Obama the first time. Then he saw how awful Obama was, and then turned against him. You know what I mean? So
you can criticize him for not being right the first time, but I do think it's a good character trait for someone who able to change their mind and evolve. So that's my last thought on that. Romy, last thought before we wrap up. Actually, super chats. And then last thought before we.
I just feel like, I don't feel like you're being naive or whatever. I feel like a lot of people, give him the benefit of the doubt, and that's and rightfully so. We all grow, we all change, no matter what your age is. I'm just more tough on people because I feel like
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all.
With the education that was held back from me, I'm a high school dropout. I didn't learn too much in my school as is, and to know, the U.S. history and to have the knowledge that I have now, and for these people that have the privilege, like Dr. Cornel West, he has grown up, I'm pretty sure, rich compared to us, had it good compared to our lives. For him to have all that privilege and access to the same knowledge and, still be moderate and conservative in any timeline, especially as a black man, I will be more harsh on you. I feel like that's only right, because I had to fight for the education that I had. I had to go to jail for the education that I have now. I had to go on the streets and learn and get my ass beat for this education that they were just given. And I don't feel like it's fair to give a lot of people the benefit of the doubt if they, if they ain't take advantage of those same privileges, or if they haven't learned that these people are actually evil and not a force for good.
I'm gonna get into some the last super chats and I'll get us out of here. Thank you for the solidarity super sticker. Lisa for the 999. Thank you for the 499 deconstructing topics. The Bowman guy reps certain part of my borough. The BX. Perfect example of what Malcolm X warned us about black leaders. Exactly. Jamaal Bowman is exactly who Malcolm X warned about. He's exactly who Fred Hampton warned about. Yeah. Fred Hampton, and his quote is so on the money on Jamaal Bowman. Jamaal Bowman said, but Fred Hampton said, without education, you're going to have Negro capitalists and you're going to have Negro imperialists. We're going to become so dumb, you're going to have niggas fighting against the machine that oppresses us. And that is what Jamaal Bowman is doing. And that is literally out of ignorance at best. That's just at best. He don't know what the fuck's going on. We don't know what the fuck's going on. Ignorance breeds a way for you to be manipulated and taken control of. That's why we stress that the working class be smarter, know how to move. We can't allow liberals in the establishment to trick us to be dumbasses. I think that's what they want us to be. I ran about many times, so I'll spare you guys. But in my lifetime, literally in my lifetime, I've seen a coordinated effort to dumb down Americans. It's a scourge of anti-intellectualism. So I spare you guys the rant because I went on it quite a few times, but it's obvious. That's what they want. They want people to be dumb. They want people to just focus on reality TV, watch your sports. Don't look shit up. Listen to what the newsman said and where they say it's true. That's culture that I rejected a long time ago, obviously, right? But
come on, man. Why you gotta do Bowman like that, man? Come on, man. hey, y'all. Hey.
Now I appreciate the generous. I appreciate the generous $50 in our G, and this is a great comment to piggyback on what I was saying about Hitler and socialism as well. The only socialism Hitler ever preached was a state that worked in the interest of the bourgeoisie class, not the proletariat. The term was purposely added as subterfuge to gain support of German workers, so DAP to NSDAP with no Marxist socialist ideology. Thank you, NRJ. You explained it way better, way more concise than I did, right? But this is a great explanation. Great explanation. Way more. I think it's better said.
Like these people just pointing at anything because they have to make us look like the bad guys. They have to make socialists look like the bad guys, communists look like the bad guys. Because if we don't, what I'm saying, we're not the bad guys. Who is? Who are the bad guys? And they know that they are taking up for Nazis. They know what the hell that they are doing. I don't think for 1 second these Americans are that dumb, or at least the people that's into politics are that dumb that they don't know that they are you know what I'm saying, not supporting fucking white supremacy or white supremacists. Straight the fuck up. And to sit here and blame, oh, what, Hitler was a socialist. In what way? Socialism is ideology. Communism, in what way?
Well said. Now,
you
what
gotta
I said,
point at us to make. Hey, look at them. Why y'all over there killing the shit out of whatever fucking African country?
yeah. What I said, we about 2 hours. And I think this is a very fun episode, and also very educational. As I try to make all the episodes, I tell you what we do very seriously because we talk about the education of the proletariat. But I will 100% acknowledge that there are people who work 50 hours a week. There are people who have kids. There are people who don't got time to fucking pick up a book. That's why I do what I do. We need people who do. People who are Marxist educators. Other people who know more. Our job is to educate our brothers and sisters. And then when you learn something, you educate your brothers and sisters. It's a form of mutual aid. If you know how to garden, teach your brothers and sisters how to garden. If you know martial arts, teach them martial arts. Rome, he's still gonna teach me how to shoot guns one of these damn days.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So like, do what you can for the movement. Do what you can for the betterment of each other. Right? Capitalism wants all think that we just all individuals is a rat race between individuals. No, fuck that. Let's grow each other intellectually, spiritually, and our material needs as a community. That's my last preaching for you guys. Rome, tour for the poor. Let me go.
Oh yeah. Oh damn. Tour for the poor, Florida. Florida. We're gonna be in Florida, Jacksonville. We're gonna be giving out 10,000 diapers, clothes. We're gonna have barbecue for the people. It's gonna be nice. Not only that, we're gonna be opening up a gun club. I'm gonna have my cousin. He's gonna be the face of it. He kind of look like me, just dreadlocks and darker. So I'm gonna open up a gun club down there because I feel like with the stuff that's going on down there in Florida, we can really take advantage of these times of people, losing that slave labor and reality really hitting them. I feel like socialists can really come by and swoop in and really teach them the differences in socialism, capitalism, and what ideology or what isms got us here today. Whether that be, I only chose a gun club because it's Jacksonville, and that's one of the ways to reach through that community, especially through the Black community, and it's easier for me to preach socialism with a gun. Yes, because those people are going to be looking for, soldiers or some people that can match their energy. Because if you're going to be talking about protecting their neighborhood, protecting their people, then you better have plans of doing so. But I feel like we should be down there in Florida or any parts of the South where these immigration bills are taking place and really take advantage of these times.
What's that, Rome? Make sure you guys support Rome. I'm trying to find this. CJ has a great event coming up as well. God damn, I literally just had it. I need to stop being goofy. Oh, here it is. Let me go back a few times. I fucking accidentally closed it. But make sure you check out. Here it is. I had to go to your goddamn page to find it. The Long Beach. Make sure here's the Venmo. Mutual Aid forever mutual aid. For the Skid Row. For some reason not letting me share my screen. Oh well, it's glitching like a motherfucker right now. Anyway, I'll see you guys Nick at night this week. CJ got some announcements as well. Has some guest announcements coming up soon. So much love and appreciation for you guys. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.